insurance companies, so you know their rates will always be competitive, friendly, knowledgeable, and there when you need them. Give Cornell Agency a call at 989-348-6761. That's 989-348-6761.
It usually starts in a group text. First it's a day, then a time, then a location. This is how the classic girls' night begins. And one of the best venues around is Room 94, Petoskey's newest tap room, with a selection of crafted cocktails, an amazing tavern-style menu, an outdoor patio, and bar games to showcase your mad skills. It's the perfect place to get the girls together. So head to Room 94 at Odawa Casino, Petoskey.
Good morning, Northern Michigan, and welcome to Up North Sports Radio's Friday Faceoff. Jerry Coyne in studio with Rich Calkins. Rich, you know, there's been a lot of talk about how poor the play has been or how lopsided the games have been in the college football playoffs, but not last night.
Not last night. It was well worth the wait last night for an exciting game, and boy, did it deliver. I mean, a back-and-forth contest, yeah, little defensive struggle back and forth in that first half, but the offenses opened up, mistakes were made on defense, and it gave you all the entertainment value you wanted.
Penn State versus Notre Dame, you know, two storied programs, and I think both of them acquitted themselves pretty darn well. Kind of weird, you know, like you said, seriously a defensive struggle in the first half, got a little opened up in the second half, and then, you know, a lot of turnovers that really spelled the difference in the game.
Yeah, it did, for sure. I mean, it just, that's what made, I mean, you had it all. I mean, you, like you said, turnovers, big plays, big, you know, DBs falling down for a big touchdown. I mean, Penn State DB just, wow.
Both of them. Two guys,
yeah. Yeah, because the receiver, once he caught the ball, put that one move on the other DB. He was on roller skates then.
Yep.
And so, yeah, it turned out to be an easy touchdown for them. And then, you know, I know that James Franklin's taken a ton of heat this morning by talking heads and all of that. I did not mind them trying to go and win the game. I mean, the way
it was a horrible throw by Allard.
Yeah, for sure was horrible. That was really, as they broke it down on film this morning, he was really the fourth receiver because there were three receivers out to the left, and that was his first read. None of those were open. And what's the worst thing to do is to, when you're getting pressure, throw late over the middle, and that's what gives that DB time to jump the route, and that's exactly what happened. Allard said in the post-game press conference he wanted to really dirt the ball, throw it into the ground, but again, the pressure got to him, and it just lofted it just a bit, and next thing you know, the DB made a great play.
Yeah, you know, I'm still miffed. I'm very gratified. Not that I was kind of torn on who I liked. You know, my son-in-law is a Penn State grad. You know, my entire family, huge Irish fans.
Mm-hmm.
But the pass interference call on that interception by Notre Dame was one of the worst calls in such a big moment that I've seen in a while. And if Penn State had ended up winning that football game, people would be talking about that.
That would be the talking point for sure.
Yeah.
It would be. But no, I think that they were able to overcome a sign of a good team.
Yeah.
To overcome some of those things, and that's exactly what they did. I mean, that first half, going back to the first half real quick, Penn State was in control of that game.
Mm-hmm.
But again, games are always won in the second half.
Yep.
You know, just because, unless you're up 28-0, or, well, we've seen things like that change too. But for the most part, unless you're blowing a team out,
Riley Leonard really acquitted himself pretty well in the second half.
He sure did.
Yeah, that was. I don't know what kind of shape Notre Dame is going to be in for Texas or Ohio State, losing two more offensive linemen, and whether Love can get a little bit more healed up. But either of the teams that they would play, either Texas or Ohio State, is going to extend. I don't know, probably pretty much the same pressure. Who's the guy? Who's the one
Oh my gosh! Well, they got two of the whoever.
They got
wears
two fantastic guys.
Whoever wears number 11 at Penn State, that is like the all-time great uniform, of course. That,
Micah Parsons.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and the other D lineman looks good. There's
33 was a beast.
There's two guys. Well, there's three guys on that Penn State team who are going to play in the NFL. 11, 33, and 44 on the offensive side.
Oh
they're
gosh.
That tight end.
He's a monster.
Yeah.
I mean, I really hadn't paid much attention to him throughout the year.
No, he's been the offense.
Oh, I know, and that's
Yeah.
why I hear all the stats,
Yeah.
and I hear, and
Yeah.
then you see him with you're like, holy cow!
Yeah.
This is a monster of a man.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be as good as Bowers was this year, but he's got all the makings of being a fantastic tight end
Sure
in the
does.
NFL. So they're going to have three of the Penn State guys are going in the top 25 spots in the draft.
Yeah.
Well, I would say without a doubt.
Yeah.
And I don't put this, Franklin for good reason has been belittled
yes.
always lose to Michigan, always lose to Ohio State.
Not having his teams ready.
Yeah,
all of that.
they get as much talent as anybody in the country. He's a fantastic recruiter. And Allers had a really good season. So I don't put this loss on him.
I don't either.
Sometimes you lose football games. Guess what, folks? Somebody wins the game and somebody loses the game. And a lot of times it doesn't really go your way. I mean, we're going to see all this stuff play out in the NFL, and all of us love the chances of the Lions. They're not just getting a free pass to win the Super Bowl this year.
Oh, no. Not at all.
But on the other hand, Rich, I don't think anybody's going to be blaming Dan Campbell if the Lions lose to the Vikings. I mean, they could play the Vikings beating a team three times in the same season. I wouldn't line up to bet my house on that one.
No, not at all, because again, you're going up against a good team with a good coaching staff, and they've learned through the two losses they've had against them. So yeah, like you said, the old adage, if it's hard to beat a team three times,
it's hard to beat them twice.
Yeah, and there's a reason why they have these sayings and adages because they're usually true.
Yeah, but going back, so we have the other game tonight, Texas and Ohio State. And, I've been giving out the bet. I think, Ohio State is going to beat Texas by more than 5.5 points.
They're on a roll right now.
They're on a roll. However, especially defensively, Texas has all the defensive weapons to shut that offense down. They have a terrific defensive line that can stop the run, that can put pressure on the quarterback, and they have by far and away the best defensive backfield in football.
Yeah.
They've got three guys that are going to be going in the top 25 in the NFL draft too.
In the matchup with Ohio State's weakest link, their offensive line, some holes along there.
Yep.
That's the one that you really need to pay attention to, because if you control the line of scrimmage, and you saw what Michigan did against Ohio State.
Yep.
They controlled the line of scrimmage, and they came out with a win without nearly the firepower offensively that the Longhorns have.
Yeah, that defense looked spectacular against Arizona State in the first half, not so much in the second half.
Right.
And I don't know what accounts for that. And this has been Texas's biggest problem all year long, is like lack of concentration. They have been a fantastic first half football team, not so much in the second half.
Right, they're not able to close things out.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
Now that could be right. That goes on to Sark a little bit, I think, and he's got a little bit of a history of some of those things, of not necessarily getting over.
Well, he's
the hump.
never been here.
That's right.
Okay, I mean, they were here last year.
He's been assistants with some of those great teams. I think he was with
Alabama.
Saban with Alabama, and so.
I mean, they lost a toughie to Washington last year. That was a fantastic football game.
Yes, it was.
Michael Penix made some unbelievable plays in the last possession and managed to beat Texas by a couple of points. So this Texas team has been here. But like I said, they manhandled Georgia in the first half in both of those games. and then gave up the leads and lost. Same thing happened to University of Michigan. They were kicking the crap out of Michigan. Second half was a draw.
Yeah.
To an undermanned Michigan team that later looked to be a little better. So, I just want a really good football game. So these Texas athletes need to play 4 quarters.
For sure. Yep, and that's, like you said, would take a repeat almost of last night, the entertainment value of that. I'll be at the TC West, TC Central game, but I'll be checking in at halftime on the score, and then once I get back home, fully devoted for that 4th quarter of watching that game.
Yeah, TC Central, TC West, the big showdown, our first of the 2 big showdowns happening tonight. That's at Central.
It is.
Yeah, I know. Are the girls playing in front of that again?
They are.
Okay, so we're doing both games.
We are not doing the girls. This is not our first girls game is in a week. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought we were going to get there in time to do the girls games. I know we will when we play at West.
At West.
Yeah. But no, it's as you to reiterate what you just said. I really hope to see another entertaining game tonight versus Texas and Ohio State, then leading up to, the big wild card stuff.
Yeah. Great playoff action. All started last night, and it's going to continue through Monday night.
Yeah, it's. I'm not upset
this
about
time
it.
of year is a beautiful thing.
It's only going to happen this 1 week, okay?
Right.
So even I had to tell Cheryl like 19 times. It's just 1 week.
Right.
I
know it always seems to them like it goes on forever.
No, exactly.
Just, the sports shift around a little bit. That's all.
Trust me, honey. It's only this 1 week.
Yeah.
It's the biggest game of the season. How often do you say it's the biggest game of the year? Well, a few more times.
Right. Yeah. And we hope to be able to say that further and further down the road.
Well, it won't matter. I mean, look at even Cheryl's interested in the Lions.
Yeah. My wife Julie's been watching them too.
Yeah. I don't think there's a. It's funny. We're going to talk about pro football after the break here, but. And I'm surprised you're not wearing anything Lions.
I know. I thought about it. I'm saving it till next week.
But everywhere you go. Everybody is you could tell when Michigan State's having a better year.
Yes.
There's more Sparty gear out, and the same thing with Michigan. There was way more Michigan stuff being worn the last couple of weeks after they beat Ohio State and they beat Alabama. But the amount of there's more people wearing Lions stuff than there is not.
Jerry, you go some of the websites to order some Lions gear, whether Fanatics or NFL Lions thing. A lot of things are sold out.
Oh, yeah.
You can't, it's just like back order this or that. It's just wild.
No, 3 weeks before Christmas, I tried to buy a couple of Lions cheerleaders outfits for my granddaughter.
Nice. No, couldn't do it. Sold out.
Why are you even showing it to me on the website?
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, that'd be ideal.
I go all the way through to, sold out.
Yeah.
Well, come on.
Yeah, exactly. But, the amount of enthusiasm for the Lions just got fortified by the Lions' victory over the Vikings.
Ice Cube's son was on CBS or Affinity Sports before I pulled in the driveway here, and he, even though he's a big fan of the Rams, he said, I want the Lions and Bills in the Super Bowl. And so, it's going everywhere, JC. Absolutely, this Lion fandom, interest level, it's nationwide.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And part of it is kind of like an offshoot, Rich, of the Red Wings stuff when the Red Wings were fabulous, because there's so many transplanted Michiganders living in California and Colorado and Texas.
Yes.
So they're, it's just galvanizing the Michiganders, ex-Michiganders.
Right.
Yeah.
For years we'd watch road baseball games, and how many Tiger jerseys and Tiger hats you see in the stadiums and all that. Well, it's gone tenfold like that now with the Lions excitement.
Yeah, no doubt about it. When we return, we will get all the way into Lions and playoff discussions with the NFL. We've got Red Wings, good news to talk about the Red Wings and the Pistons. And then we've got our high school look ahead as well. So all that and more on Up North Sports Radio's Friday Faceoff, brought to us by Cherry Capital Airport, tvcairport.com. It's time for Destination MLB.
Dreaming of the sun and sand? TVC Cherry Capital Airport will take you there. Florida beaches, the Caribbean, or the links in Phoenix? Fly nonstop on Allegiant, or with just one stop on American, Delta, or United. Seats are filling up fast. Up to the minute flight details at tvcairport.com. Listen, do you hear that? That's the sound of wide open spaces at Shanty Creek Resort in Bel Air. The sound of laughter coming from the Alpine Tubing Park. The sound of splashing in the pool. The sound of shushing down Shush Mountain. Here we go outside to play. When it's time for you to enjoy the wide open spaces of northern Michigan, Shanty Creek will be there to welcome you with over 275 lodging options, 42 downhill ski and snowboard runs, and plenty of outdoor fun in Bel Air and online at shantycreek.com. Ski season is the best season, and that means a trip to White Birch Outfitters in downtown Gaylord. White Birch is simply the best place for everything downhill. Boards and skis, goggles, helmets, and hats. All the rad gear you need to make this season the best ever. White Birch Outfitters in downtown Gaylord performs every ski service like waxing, sharpening, and base grinding. To look and ski your best, visit White Birch Outfitters on Main Street in Gaylord, at Otsego Resort, online, or on Facebook, and let it snow. White Birch Outfitters in downtown Gaylord.
Sports fans, check out UpNorthSportsRadio.com for all your Detroit sports action. Get full schedules for the Wings, Pistons, Tigers, Lions, and U of M football. Catch Friday Faceoff live and hit the links with JC on episodes of Finding Fairways. Our high school sports guru, Rich Calkins, hosts the High School Scoreboard Show. And don't miss Traverse City West Titan football and boys basketball action. Catch games live or see past episodes on the podcast page. Real sports fans, go to UpNorthSportsRadio.com.
It's time for Destination NHL/NFL. Kevin Klein from Cherry Capital Airport joining us here. And Kev, how much of those Super Bowl flights to New Orleans gone up?
Oh, well, you want to know something? You can still hold if you go that Tuesday to Tuesday.
Yeah.
We've been talking about that. $288.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I would go to New Orleans without the Super Bowl for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Get out on the Bourbon Street and,
get into our food conversation.
Okay, all right. There we go again. But, hey, no, some great opportunities to do that. But, again, you go that next day, you're almost tripling the cost and everything else. Yeah. So, but, we got to be a lot of encouragement with what's going on.
I mean,
what
a
dominating
Vikings. I mean, the defense is back, baby.
Oh, wow. And yet we're still missing, 19 players still right now?
I don't know. We got Alex Anzalone. That's all we need.
That's all we need. But that cornerback, what is it, Robinson? Oh, wow. Was he spectacular.
Robinson had a spectacular game, and Branch has been all-world all year long.
Oh.
He made the Pro Bowl. Joseph made the Pro Bowl. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and they get a week off.
Yeah, so heal up. But now we start skating.
Well, the Red Wings are hot. We get to Todd McClellan in there, and they've won 5 out of the 6 games that he's coached for us. So maybe coaching does make a difference.
Absolutely. Leadership. That's, top leadership. I think Stevie's got their mix starting to go, so let's keep our fingers
really
crossed.
They really opened the offense up. Kane's playing better. They're scoring more goals. So, and you can see them in Florida for cheap.
Well, when you're looking at, they're going to play the Panthers, and guess what? Remember, we started that nonstop down to Fort Lauderdale.
Yep.
So get you right in there, and it's basically $132
round trip.
Flying Allegiant. There you go.
You can't
nonstop.
I mean, why would you drive? Remember that 24-hour drive you made with your buddies in college?
And your car broke down, and you had to get
got arrested in Georgia.
Let's fly Allegiant nonstop.
Yeah,
okay. and then a couple days later, you're in Tampa, so you can go to Tampa St. Pete, flying Allegiant. And that's $135.
There you go.
So,
can't beat it.
What an awesome nonstop opportunity that Allegiant gives us.
Oh, and now, but you got to start looking at the spring break, and those rates are going up. So
Oh,
you better
yeah.
book now.
Book right now.
That's
Book right now. And, still Allegiant provides you right now that I think the lowest price for the spring break travel. So, book now. They give you that nonstop opportunity. They have great flight schedules. And, if you can go a little bit earlier in March, you're going to get some better pricing.
Yep.
That last week of March is when everybody's spring break is. So, and then again, that first week of April coming back, those are great opportunities. So if you're thinking, I want to go for a little bit longer, early March to early April, awesome
There you
opportunity.
go. Fort Lauderdale for St. Patty's Day is my suggestion to you. Kev, what's the website?
TVCairport.com.
There you go. There's Destination NFL here on Up North Sports Radio. The ever opulent Kevin Klein.
As excited as anybody, man, I tell you, it comes through.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And we're going to talk about the NHL because, as Kevin pointed out, there's only one trip left as a Lions fan.
Yeah, that's
And,
right.
So all they got to do is win 2 games.
Two
Two home games.
That's right, yes, yeah. All that hard work put into getting home field advantage and sealed the deal last week with that incredible win against the Vikings. That, JC, I tell you, nobody obviously saw the defensive performance of which these Lions, again, missing as many people as they are. The way to keep that Minnesota offense out of the end zone was just absolutely remarkable.
Well, it's a writer, I can't remember, I think it was John Nio pointed out in the Detroit News that the success that the Lions have on 4th downs is affecting how other teams play them. If the Vikings had just kicked their field goals instead of trying to score touchdowns inside the red zone, they would have won the football game.
They were a team that went for it the fewest amount of times on 4th down.
Yeah.
And it totally, like you said, because of the pressure of the Lions going for it on a regular basis on 4th down, it changes the wiring of these other head coaches, of good head coaches.
Mm-hmm.
And it just puts stress on them, puts stress on their team.
Especially that the Lions scoring in the red zone and the Vikings not. It just ratchets up all, like, what's wrong with my guys? How come they get away with it?
You get stopped as an offense inside the 5-yard line, and you don't come away with points
multiple times.
It mentally breaks you. Yeah. And then you see the Lions march down and go for it on 4th down numerous times, usually converting. It just ratchets up all those emotions that normally you don't feel during a game.
Yeah. And it paid off big time in that game, especially.
Sure did. Exactly.
And the other thing about that game, they only had 2 sacks, but the controlled pressure of moving Darnold around is what won that football game.
Yeah, they did a nice job.
I mean, he could not change the look on his face. I mean, every time they would go for a close-up, he looked like he had to dewire a nuclear bomb.
Right. Is it the red or the black wire? Which one is it?
He did not look like Joe Namath in 1968.
No, he did not. Did not look comfortable back there. He was started eventually then. And even though, like you said, a couple of sacks, but they put constant pressure, which is the good thing. And he started to see it and feel that pressure. And he was overthrowing balls right from the get-go, and it didn't change. It kind of continued throughout the whole game.
Yeah, even the one pass that they completed in the first half. I mean, Jefferson made just an unbelievable catch.
A Jefferson catch.
Yeah. But all the other passes were thrown so high that he, like you said, you could tell the frustration on Jefferson. You could tell the angst on the face of Darnold.
No
question. And when you saw the press conference with Kevin O'Connell from Grayling St. Mary's, he didn't know what to make of it.
No, he didn't.
Because Darnold hadn't
played that way this year in their offense all year.
Yeah.
That was Sam Darnold of old, and they thought they had flushed all of that out because, he's had a great year, no question. But in this game, at the biggest moment, all those kind of feelings had to start
So the
coming.
biggest question is, did the Lions open up a book, and will the Rams be able to steal pages out of that book?
Because they have a good young defensive line.
They
there.
do. I don't know much about their corners. They don't have Jalen Ramsey anymore.
They do not.
Yes, which would be helpful in this football game.
Certainly would.
Yeah, but let's go backwards, because that is actually the last game of the playoffs.
Yeah, they play the first 3 games are all AFC games.
Yeah.
One of the AFC and then the NFC to close it out.
So as we piggybacking on our wonderful weekend of, I don't know how I'm not going to gain 10 pounds this weekend. We've got the Texas-Ohio State game tonight. And then Saturday, we've got a 4 o'clock game. The first game out of the blocks is the Chargers at Texans. And, a lot of people on first glance, Rich, really like the Chargers here. I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah. That's, Houston's had some, obviously, what they did last year in the playoffs. So, they played really well to win some games, obviously, when no one expected it. This year, they got 2 really good defensive ends that rushed the quarterback. And But the Chargers, as you know, with the Jim Harbaugh-led team, they're going to try to run the ball down their throats. We'll see how that works and do that and go into some play-action passes. But a good one to start off the NFL playoffs.
Well, obviously the Texans have some offensive challenges with Tank Dell being out and
devastating injury.
Yeah, and what their other running back is out of the game too, so they're going to have trouble scoring points. But the Chargers, this is their 3rd game in a row, or 3rd or 4th. I'm not exactly sure. I think it's 3rd on the road. And they're playing on Saturday. And, I could be wrong. Harbaugh's done a fantastic job of getting this team ready to play football. They're well ahead of schedule.
Oh, definitely. You thought when they got rid of a lot of the talent, the wide receivers that they got rid of and different players, you thought that this team wouldn't do much at all. But Jim Harbaugh knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah. So we'll see. This is the lowest point spread of the sheet this week.
Yeah, I've got as of right now, I have it at +3.
I'm talking about 42.5.
Okay, yeah. Total points.
That's less than last night's game. The Notre Dame, that they're not thinking too highly of a lot of scoring happening in this game. And then you shift to the 8 o'clock game, which is the 3rd game between the Steelers and the Ravens.
And that's an Amazon game. If you're going to be looking for that, it's on
Amazon Prime. Well, luckily your wife and my wife do enough shopping that we have a.
I will be viewing. But that one's, my point is 43.5.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Mm-hmm. So this is, just from a betting standpoint, from a logistics standpoint, you have a 43.5 point over and under total, but they're giving the Steelers 9.5.
Yes.
Those two numbers don't correlate at all.
No, they do not. You usually don't have that big of
spread in a
low-scoring affair.
Exactly. So, and the Steelers have the Ravens. They've played Lamar Jackson as well as anybody. I know they lost to the Ravens when they played them 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. But mainly because 2 horrible turnovers by the Steelers.
Right. No, they always they play them tough. It's another, like you said, a division rival. The hard to beat a team 3 times. All of that. Mike Tomlin.
Well, they split.
Did they split? Did they beat them?
Yeah, they beat them in the beginning. They beat them handily.
That's one of their.
With Justin Fields playing quarterback. Now, Russell Wilson's play has dropped off.
It has.
I think part of that is the fact that Pickens was out, and then when Pickens came back, all of a sudden he can't catch the football.
It's just crazy.
Yeah. So this is such a huge game. I mean, to me, this is like stealing. The Steelers getting 9.5 in a playoff game against the Ravens.
Right.
Okay, Tomlin's record versus John Harbaugh is really stout.
Yeah. This you think they stopped Lamar in that rushing attack with that beast in the backfield also? Do they force Lamar to throw the ball and try to make,
Zay Flowers isn't playing?
He isn't playing, yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand this spread at all. I really don't. As Lee Corso likes to say, somebody knows something that I don't. But, if I had to bet, gun to my head, I would you know what? I think I got an extra 200 I'm going to put on the Steelers. But it should be great rock'em sock'em football no matter what. And then Sunday we have 3 games. We have the Broncos visiting the Bills, and this is another big point spread, 8.5 points. Denver's looked good. A lot of people point to the fact that, this is a rookie on the road in his first playoff game. And, Nix has been good.
He's been very good.
He'd be rookie of the year if it wasn't for Jaden Daniels.
Yes, that's exactly right. He's played obviously at Auburn for years, and then
didn't he start more games as a quarterback than any other player in the history of the NCAA?
Oh, I think so. Yeah,
I think that is.
Yeah.
And he stepped right in. I mean, a couple of rough weeks, but
But Sean Payton knew what he was. You give him because again, he's kind of a QB whisperer, and what he did with Drew Brees when a lot of people didn't want him. He was able to. You play in his system and you do what he says. Usually ends up doing.
But
well.
This Denver defense is really good. Now, I don't know what the weather's going to be like in Buffalo on Sunday morning.
Right.
But it is Denver. They're used to playing in the elements.
They know, right?
Yeah. So it's I think this spread is a little out of whack. I think Denver's defense. I guess the one issue I have, they are playing at home. And, Buffalo is really good at home. They have the best home field advantage as far as the Bills Mafia is concerned.
Right.
Yeah. And
they're just crazy.
So will that affect the offensive side of the ball? Obviously, if the Broncos turn the ball over a couple of times, they got some big problems.
No doubt.
But and then you've got Green Bay visiting Philly. I'd love to see the Packers win this football game.
Oh, me too. I would absolutely. Right now, the spread is like 5.
4.5. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
But yeah. Would that be incredible for Green Bay? I mean, they played really well in the playoffs last year. They went into Dallas when Dallas was heavily favored.
Yep.
And absolutely torched them. Now, I'm not expecting that to happen against Philly, but man. I tell you.
It'd be great is on the first running play, Saquon Barkley blows his knee out.
Well,
I love Saquon Barkley, don't get me wrong, but
Brown, the receiver, did not practice. He's dealing with a knee issue. Of course, Jalen Hurts is coming off concussion protocol. Hasn't played in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So he might be a little rusty.
Philly's a hard place to play.
For sure.
Packers have had their problems. They did not take the step up that most people. They played really good football. They lost to the Lions twice. They lost to the Vikings and Philadelphia. That Bears game, the loss last Sunday. I don't know I don't think you make too much out of it, other than the fact that Watson is out for the rest of the year, and Love got dinged up. That was kind of stupid football by.
It is, and you see him. He's still that elbow.
And Malik Willis got hammered.
Oh, sure did.
Yeah,
sure did.
Yeah, if I watch that Bears game and I'm looking at being a new head coach, that was kind of encouraging. I don't, they interviewed Pete Carroll there yesterday. If I were the Vikings, everybody's talking about Mike Vrabel going to New England. If I'm the Bears, I'm giving Vrabel reign.
As a Lions fan, I don't want Vrabel coaching because that automatic legitimacy immediately. Tough, physical.
That makes the NFC North. If Mike Vrabel gets the Bears job, look at the 4 coaches in the NFC North.
Yeah, by far the best conference.
Although people are talking about this, I'm going to get off track, but look at the coaches and quarterbacks in the AFC West. Andy Reid and Mahomes, Sean Payton and Bo Nix, Harbaugh and Justin Herbert, and then you got the Raiders. Who and who?
Yeah, might change quickly because they.
Horton here's it. Well, no. Who are they going to draft?
Oh, I know.
There's not going to be a quarterback there. So I mean, is Aaron Rodgers headed there? What quarterback is going to be in L.A. in Las Vegas for the Raiders?
Can they get Shedeur Sanders? Are they too far down the pecking order in the draft?
They're picking like 9th.
Oh yeah, that's all. Yeah, you're not getting him there.
Yeah.
But the only way Dion said that he would come out and coach is if he was able to coach his son.
Yeah.
That was the statement yesterday.
I don't know where he. The Giants are picking 3rd. I mean, New England has the first pick. They don't need a quarterback.
They don't. No, they have that taken care of. But they'll get a king's ransom for that number 1 pick.
I don't know. Is Shedeur Sanders a lock to be a good quarterback?
No, I don't. I don't know.
He's not worth 3 number 1s.
No, that kind of offense they played in, that worked in Colorado, but I don't see that working in the NFL.
Not in front of the Raiders or the Giants' offensive line.
Yes, that's exactly right. But he that's the thing. He's used to playing in front of Colorado. Never had a good offensive line.
That's an outstanding point.
So he was running for his life every game.
Yeah. Run. Here's the scramble and throw it. What was the old Minnesota Viking Fran Tarkington? They used to call it lookout blocks. Guys would run back. Look out!
Yes.
The last game on Sunday I think, is going to be a really fun game. The Commandos versus the Bucks.
I love watching.
Yeah.
The quarterbacks in this. I mean, that
Baker Mayfield is playing.
Is getting disrespected.
I don't think he's getting disrespected much anymore.
Well, it's people will say already is whatchamacallit, the rookie from Washington, better than I heard that on one of the talk shows. And so it's like,
well, he could prove it.
He could
prove it.
He's just going to put that in his back pocket and come out, and he'll name names if they're able to beat the Commandos.
Well, who's the wideout that Evans?
Oh yeah.
He and Evans have something going on. And what is Tampa's record with Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans in the lineup? I mean, it's a winning clip like the Lions.
Right.
They don't lose football games when Evans starts and Mayfield is in the backfield, and they got a pretty good running back.
They sure
and their
do.
defense is good. I mean, Tampa is like, I don't know what they are odds to win the Super Bowl, but they're probably worth a bet. Because if I'm the Lions, I'd rather play the Commanders or the Packers or the Rams, not Tampa or not the Vikings.
Because they came to Detroit early in the season.
Well, they were lucky to win that game. They get the Lions made 2 stupid turnovers, and they got a couple. So the Buccaneers are plus 2,100 to win the Super Bowl. So that means you bet $10, and if they win the Super Bowl, you get $210 back. That's not a bad bet, considering that the Lions are plus 320. Yeah. They are better bets than the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know about that. I mean, for all the love that I have for the Detroit Lions.
Me too.
I mean, if the Lions and the Chiefs end up in the Super Bowl together, I'm I don't even know if I watched the game.
How can you go against Patrick? Hasn't Patrick Mahomes shown enough to everybody in big games, big moments?
I
He
don't know.
plays his
I
best.
don't. I honestly, I'm not saying that to be funny. I don't know if I watched the Super Bowl. Like,
Well-
I don't know if I could stand to watch the Super
Well,
Bowl.
I know one thing. If the line, I'm not going to a party and watch it because again, there's going to be so much going on.
Well, there won't be anything going on. If the Lions are in the Super Bowl and you go to a Super Bowl party, the people aren't going to be talking about the commercials and everything else. People are going to be watching every single play.
Well, you would hope so.
Yeah.
But again, I will be watching it in my TV room with the dog.
Yeah,
and,
I know. Yeah,
that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
And I think my wife's got to be in Las Vegas during that anyway.
yeah.
So.
The last time that UCLA won the national championship, I watched that final game all by myself.
Right. Yeah.
And took phone calls from all my old teammates.
That's
That was
right. Yeah. Well, you're a true fan. You need that moment alone
Yeah.
with the team. You know, it's just the way it goes.
No doubt about it. And then as we said, the Monday night game is the Vikings and the Rams playing in Arizona because of
Arizona,
all the
yeah.
wildfires.
Wow,
I mean,
yes.
that is just horrific what's going on out there.
For sure. Definitely thoughts and prayers to all the people.
Yeah, you know,
out there
a
that's
few
fine.
people are talking, and rightly so. How much will this affect both the Chargers and the Rams? You know, I'm sure a lot of them had to move their families.
Yeah.
You know, Pacific Palisades, I know that area. I lived in Los Angeles. I mean, the whole photos of cars being abandoned on Sunset Boulevard. That's where the Whiskey A Go-Go is, and, you know, and Chateau Marmont, and all the other rock clubs and everything else. That's downtown Hollywood, baby. It's like a disaster from film.
Yeah, that's exactly
Yeah.
right. Yeah, it's
So.
like an apocalyptic type situation. Just crazy.
Yeah. So you know, I don't know if the Rams will be mentally ready to play that football game.
Right.
So we'll see. That's the Monday night game.
Yeah, Minnesota
And so there's
neutral
what is it? There's 4 possibilities of who the Lions could play,
Yeah.
depending on what happens.
Right.
They could play the Rams, they could play the Vikings, they could play the Commanders,
Yeah.
or the Packers.
Yep. The lowest seed.
Whatever
coming
lowest
out.
seed. I love that the NFL does that now.
I do too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're actually rewarding you for having a great regular.
Not only do
season.
you get the week off, you get the weakest team.
Yes.
So, you know, and the Chiefs are in the same boat. There's a number of different teams that they could play at home with a week off.
Yeah.
We'll be back after these words from our fine partners on Up North Sports Radio's Friday Faceoff. But Lindsay is out on the mountain running the snow making machines. But the conditions at Shush Mountain are 100% open. They've had snow. The snowmakers have been working it. She says they have crushed it with these cold temps you've had in the last few days. And yeah, it was a little cold.
Yeah, it certainly has been.
Yesterday was pretty cold. I barely got Cheryl's diesel to start, and I was a little worried because diesels have
a little thicker, a little you bet.
that's why they run school buses overnight.
Yes, and they have to have those. They plug them in so they keep.
They just
that
run them
heater.
overnight,
Yeah.
and I was worried about that. Luckily, it's a little warmer, but skiing conditions for today, this weekend, at Shanty Creek and on Shush Mountain are 100% fantastic. They opened up the Red Lift, which is their guests' favorite runs at Shush Mountain. On Sunday, get lift tickets, rentals, and a mini lesson for only $50 all in. So if it's been a while since you skied, then for $50 you can get your rentals, you get a lift ticket, and they'll remind you on how to do it right.
My daughters are trying to organize them to come together at Shush and spend 3 or 4 nights up there in mid-February. So they're trying to get things when their schedules worked out.
Yeah. This takes place every Sunday from noon to 4:30. So if you're looking for an available way to ski or introduce your loved ones to skiing, this is the way to go. Of course, the breakfast and prime rib buffets are in full force. So Like I said, don't be afraid to push Rich out of the way.
That's right.
We'll be back after these words from our fine partners on Up North Sports Radio's Friday Faceoff, brought to us by TVCAirport.com.
Sports on the Michigan News Network. Sponsored by Mitch Lyons Wealth.
You can mark your calendars on January 9th. The goal of all Detroit teams finishing out the 2025 year undefeated officially came to an end last night, with the Pistons coming up short to Golden State. Last night's final score was 107-104. Cade Cunningham still with 32 in the loss. Detroit now back to 500 on the season, with a chance to get back to a winning record tomorrow night when they host an 8-win Raptors team. At 8th in the conference, the Pistons still holding to a position in the play-in tournaments. Meanwhile, the Red Wings with a chance to pull within 2 points of a wild card spot in the playoffs tonight. They face the Blackhawks at LCA. Detroit entering with a 5-game winning streak. Chicago, a league worst 30 points on the season. The California wildfires continue to affect the world of sports. Monday night's playoff matchup between the Vikings and LA Rams has been moved to Arizona in the interest of safety. Last night's Lakers and Hornets game was also postponed due to the fires. I'm Dustin Fiocco with the Michigan News Network.
Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning NFL teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game film helped me prepare to win games. Now I star in a new documentary film called The Retirement Deception to help you protect your retirement from stock market drops and win retirement. Call right now to speak with an all-pro retirement advisor to get your free streaming code to watch this film. Don't risk your retirement at the goal line. Call 855-626-1962. That's 855-626-1962 for your free streaming code. MitchLyonsWealth.com, your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
When your car is making a strange noise, no matter what it is, you can't just pretend it's not happening.
That's an interesting sound.
It's like your mental health. If you're struggling and feeling overwhelmed, it's important to do something about it. It can be as simple as talking to someone or just taking a deep, calming breath to ground yourself. Because once you start to address the problem, you can go so much further. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org.
Sweet treats from Alpine Chocolate House have been favorites for decades. Who wouldn't want handmade chocolate treats, flavored popcorn, chocolate-covered chips, or the amazing variety of specialty apples? Regardless of the season, a gift from Alpine Chocolate House says you care. Or treat yourself just because you deserve it. Go to alpine-chocolate-house.com or visit Alpine Chocolate House in downtown Gaylord or Boyne City and give the sweetest of gifts.
You find yourself stranded.
Where am I?
That stinks, but one call to Roscommon Auto Recyclers will have you back on the road in no time at all. 24-hour towing service, a large inventory of high-quality used parts for many makes and models, ASC certified mechanics, affordable prices, and a friendly, helpful staff. Wow! That's one call that fixes it all. Find our number online at roscommonautorecyclers.com. Don't wait. Program our number into your phone now, so when you need us, we'll be there. Roscommon Auto Recyclers. We do it all.
Welcome back to Friday Faceoff on Up North Sports Radio, brought to us by TVCAirport.com. Cherry Capital Airport is your destination for all hot spots on this cold Michigan winter. Rich Calkins with Jerry Coyne. And Rich, we were talking a little bit about college basketball off the air. Michigan beating USC and UCLA. Did you see Dusty May's interview after the UCLA game by any chance?
No, but I did see Nick Cronin's how he went off on his team. But no, I did not see Dusty May's.
Well, UCLA was playing really good basketball. Then they lost at Nebraska, which actually Nebraska's pretty good. But that happens a lot. You know, people go to the middle of nowhere to play Nebraska, and it's a tough place to play. And then they came back home and lost to Michigan rather handily.
Mm-hmm.
But Michigan was in L.A. for 5 days.
Right.
And so they asked Dusty, like, well, Coach, you got to be pretty pleased that the team was able to, you know, withstand some of the temptations. He goes, yeah, you know, I give the kids credit. We didn't hold their hands, but most of them hung out at the hotel rooms and worked on their suntans.
Hey, sounds like they have a mature group there.
They do.
Which is that, you know, that's huge, you know, because in coaching long enough, JC, you know all this stuff. each team takes on its own personality. You
Yeah.
know, they have different. You know, you get the group of kids in there that like to go out, and then a lot of people are going to follow, and they're going to go out and do things. Or if you get a strong leadership group and they're say, hey, we're going to stay focused on this trip, we're going to hang out, do this at the motel, at the hotel, and that's what they do, and that's usually a good sign for a good season.
Yeah, so, you know, Dusty May, if you don't know, folks, was the head coach at Florida Atlantic University. 2 years ago, he took that team that nobody could even pronounce it. What is it? FAU, Florida International. They went to the Final Four, and they had a really good run last year too. They lost that Sweet 16 game to go to the Final Four last year. He brought in a couple of his transfers. He did not get the best player though. The best player at FAU is now playing at Florida.
Oh, okay.
And I've seen him play a couple of times. If this kid was on Michigan, it would be off the charts sick how good this team is. But Michigan is rounding into shape, and they're going to be dangerous. This year, we know that they've got a great right now they have the number 3 ranked recruiting class in the country coming in, and that doesn't include transfer portal guys and everything else. So I think Michigan got the right coach. In fact, I know they got the right coach.
Yeah. And if you somehow, some way can keep the core group of kids you have, which is always difficult, like we were talking about the Wolf kid off the air. I mean, for him to be doing what he's doing, you know, if he could come back one more year, that would just absolutely take this team to a whole nother level.
He is. They've got a lot of Daniel Wolf. If you don't know what he's talking about, he's a 20-year-old kid. I don't even know if they tell you what grade they're in. So he played for Yale.
Okay.
And last year as a sophomore, he was all Ivy and was the Ivy League tournament MVP. He's 6'11", 240, and he handles the ball really nicely. They say he's 7 foot here.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's usually now you see it more with the American, but that's what was typically a European player. They would play that style where a bigger kid was able to handle the rock and do things like that. Now you're starting to see some of these American kids, which is good for their overall skill set. And when you get 6'11", 7 foot kids,
so he's got one more year left, at least. I don't know if these guys can still get COVID.
Years?
Yeah, that's got to be close to over, isn't it?
I would think. We got to be getting close to the end of that. But, you know, again, he's, you know.
Yeah, now this Vladimir Golden is 23.
Okay.
So, he's a junior, though.
Okay.
A graduate transfer. How are you a graduate transfer but still a junior? See.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like you said.
But I'm very excited. You know, people are complaining a ton about, you know, with the transfer portal and paying players and everything else. I don't like college sports anymore. And I'm like, shut up. You know?
It's changed.
They were paying. Ron Kramer got paid to play football at the University of Michigan in the 50s. Okay, in the 50s. Okay, I know. I have a teammate of mine that I told you about got paid to go to UAD, and then he transferred and he got paid to go to Michigan State. This was in the 80s. All right, so this has been going on for a long time.
Trying to get it out in the air.
So it's a little bit more
open.
transparent now. I believe that. What do you think the chances are that Saban is named like the commissioner of the NCAA in football?
If he wants to do that, it's his.
Yeah.
I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, he's the right guy to put.
But he looks like he's really digging being on top.
That's the thing. He's having so much fun.
I want to have this?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a bunch of people hating on me again and do this and do that. Unreasonable expectations. When here, I'm having a ball and. Yeah, it depends if.
But
Miss
he could
Terry,
make a difference.
If Miss Terry wants him out of the house,
I think that, I mean, you say it's a mess and, it's the Wild West and everything else. I think only just a few important changes need to be made to bring the system back in line.
Right. And that's why I refer just guardrails. They don't need hard.
You have one transfer
rules.
window. You don't have 9 transfer windows.
Just put some guidelines going forward here so people can understand what the heck's going on.
Yeah, and you got to stay for 2 years, something like that.
Yeah.
So, I got the text back, so we're going to cut to a break here, and when we return, we will have Paul Woods on, and he can explain to us what the big change has been in the new look Red Wings.
Love it.
So all that, and then we'll have the Fickett Sons High School Sports Game Show. So a lot to stay tuned to here on Up North Sports Radio's Friday Faceoff, brought to us by TVCAirport.com.
Listen, do you hear that? That's the sound of wide open spaces at Shanty Creek Resort in Bel Air. The sound of laughter coming from the Alpine Tubing Park. The sound of splashing in the pool. The sound of shushing down Shush Mountain. Here we go outside to play. When it's time for you to enjoy the wide open spaces of northern Michigan, Shanty Creek will be there to welcome you with over 275 lodging options, 42 downhill ski and snowboard runs, and plenty of outdoor fun in Bel Air and online at shantycreek.com. Dreaming of the sun and sand? TVC Cherry Capital Airport will take you there. Book your summer vacation to 20 nonstop destinations served by all 6 airlines, including Avelo and Sun Country. Now's the time to book your 2025 vacation experience. Check out tvcairport.com. tvcairport.com.
Wintertime fun awaits in the Côte d'Amarie Ski Loppet at Hanson Hills in Grayling. Compete January 18th on cross-country ski courses ranging from 7.5K to 26K for Michigan Cup races. Divisions for all ages and skill levels. Sign up for the Côte d'Amarie Ski Loppet by January 16th at hansonhills.org to be a part of the fun. Chip-timed waves begin at 10 a.m. on the beautifully scenic course at Hanson Hills in Grayling. Get all the details at hansonhills.org.
Has a sports injury slowed you down? Hi, I'm Dr. Grant Carey, an orthopedic surgeon at Munson Orthopedic Institute. Specially trained in sports medicine and an athlete myself, I'm committed to helping athletes like you recover from debilitating injuries. Are you ready to get back to your favorite sport? I'm here to support your recovery with expert care. Visit me at Munson Orthopedic Institute in Prudenville, where I'm accepting new patients. Get started by requesting your consultation at munsonhealthcare.org/MOI.
Catch all the action of Traverse City West Titans sports, streaming live online at upnorthsportsradio.com. Brought to you in part by J-Loop Services. 4 locations in the Traverse City area. jloopservices.com. Titan Sports on upnorthsportsradio.com.
All right, welcome back to Friday Faceoff on Up North Sports Radio, brought to us by TVCAirport.com. Joining us on the phone is Paul Woods, the esteemed color analyst for the Detroit Red Wings for, what is it now, 72 years, Paul?
And counting.
They've built that wheelchair ramp for you now to get easily in and out of the press box?
Whatever it takes, Jerry. It's a labor of love.
Paul, I mean, we knew that a coaching change probably had to be made, but wow. I mean, Todd McClellan has turned this offense around in a hurry.
Yeah, he has, Jerry, and the defense too. It's
Yep.
just a total game, and when he was coaching San Jose, they were a big rival against Rebels. I'd watch the morning skate with them, and obviously, and just their puck management skills, like not throwing it away, and that was our biggest problem. I thought in the first part of the season was we just were throwing it to an area and hoping something good was going to happen. And now we're hanging on to it, we're making plays, we're getting our defensemen involved, and now it's becoming a total 5-man game offensively, defensively. And, it's just much, much better. But they're playing their hearts out now. And the greatest strategies of all are useless unless you're playing your heart out.
Hey, Paul, Rich here, and you say it's a labor of love. Paul, it comes through on the broadcast every night, bud.
Oh, I appreciate that, Rich, coming from you. Thank you.
Yeah. But, hey, a 5-game winning streak here, Paul. I mean, right now the goalie's a little bit banged up here and there. What's the overall status of this team? Looking healthy here going into mid-January?
Yeah, we're healthy, and a lot of teams are banged up. Minnesota's got 3 of the top
Yeah.
defensemen. They're out right now, so
you got to battle through that. That's all part of the process. But just getting back to the way we're playing now, like we're a much more resilient team right now, and we've become defiant as well defensively. We're, you know, I've seen a couple of shifts now in the last 4 games or something, like where it was just like the other team had us inside, or they pulled a goalie, they have us inside our blue line, and I mean they've got us outnumbered, and our guys can't change because of the icing call, and they're exhausted. Yet they're finding ways to win, you know. And that Berggren goal against Columbus was, Sherratt blocking it and Mott diving and knocking out the neutral zone, and him walking in scoring. I mean, they could have beat us on the power play, and we ended up beating them on scoring a goal just when we get back to even strength. But it's like electric. Like it brings me out of my seat when you're watching it, because it's just there's so much determination, and dedication to the shift and not allowing the score. That's what the game's all about.
Well, Paul, had Lalonde was it falling on deaf ears? Because like you said, the level of play, like Patrick Kane looked to me like he was done with hockey. I mean, he was out there making shifts just to collect a paycheck, and he has exploded.
Yeah, Patrick and Alex DeBrincat have got real good numbers goal scoring wise, but he had so much more that he could give and stuff, and now those two are really giving it.
Yep.
And they've got Kopp in the middle, who's more of a defensive-minded guy, but he can chip in offensively, so it's a second good top line, and that takes some pressure off the Larkin line. But yeah, it's just a difference, But Jerry and guys, like you think about like the Boston Bruins, like going back a year and a half ago. Jim Montgomery, he set the NHL record, the history of the NHL, for most points in a single season. He was fired a year and a half later.
Right.
Like, it's just the nature of the beast. Like, it's a very tough job. There's only 32 of those guys in the entire world. And look at the Boston Bruins now. They made a change. Joe Sacco came in.
Yep.
Everything was good again. All of a sudden, now their wheels have fallen off. The fans are booing them off the ice. Like, it's just it's a fragile existence.
Well, this has always been the way. This has happened more in hockey than I think any other sport. Mid-season changes of coaching. Obviously it's less in football because you have way less games, but you don't see it nearly as much in the NBA as you do in the NHL or baseball, for that matter. But why do you think that is, Paul?
Again, I just think what you said earlier, it's when the message becomes stale, and all of a sudden it just becomes like the team just becomes, listless. Like they're trying for sure, but they're not going the distance. And when that happens, like, you almost have to make that move, because you just can't continue. It's just like it just spreads, and then more and more guys get taken over by it. So, and it's easier, you think about it, like if the salary cap and things are going on now, it's much easier to change the coach than it is the player.
That's for sure.
Yeah. Hey, Paul. Red Wings, they had 500 now at 18-4. But you've got, 4 teams just right there within a few points, including Montreal, Ottawa, Boston, and Tampa Bay. Hey, these Red Wings continue to play like they are. The potential to be right in the middle of the pack, if not the top end of that Eastern Conference.
Well, Rich, I've been saying, it's really there's 9 teams now battling for that second wild card spot. But the Boston Bruins now are doing everybody a favor. They haven't won now in 5 games. They've fallen back into it now. So now it's 10 teams battling for 2 playoff spots, and it's going to be a wild to finish. But all those 10 teams have a chance to make the playoffs. Buffalo just beat Ottawa last night in Ottawa. So they're going to get themselves back into it. Well, the Rangers were one time the best team in the NHL.
Yeah, that was my question. What the hell has happened to the Rangers?
Well, you talk about mismanagement.
Oh, my God.
That's what you have there. Like, when you come out and embarrassed, like the captain of team, Jacob Trouba, and then Chris Kreider, one of your top forwards and maybe your best power forward, and you embarrass them publicly, like, that's a self-inflicted wound. But, I don't know. I say the Rangers have a real good team. Zimbabwe's been terrible. He can be much, much better. Trocheck's still a great player with Panarin. So that's a good line, Lafreniere. But they're coming back. They won again last night. So they're back into the fold. And they'll be much better in the second half. But, that was not a good move. And they're not done. They're still trying to make some deals.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what they're trying to do.
Yeah, neither am I. They got all the luck in the world in the draft. They got a couple of guys that really the Wings should have gotten. They jumped past us, and they were stocked with play. Right. And then the whole thing just goes down the toilet. Were the Wings ever did they look at taking Trouba, or is he past his prime?
I don't know. I still think he's a good player. And again, I don't see him play every night, but he's a physical guy back there, and I think guys like that with an attitude like that, and all of a sudden Anaheim, who got him that deal, Anaheim's starting to play better.
Yeah.
Anaheim's not that far of a playoff spot in the Western Conference.
Yeah, and was it the Anaheim?
The thing about the Rangers too is that Igor Shesterkin deal, like they gave him so much money, and I mean, you look at his record, like his record's below 500. He came back right last night and stuff, and it was an overtime victory for the Rangers, but he got the win. But I mean, I just, it doesn't match up. Like, you shouldn't be below 500 if you're the best goaltender in the league.
Well, it seems like we don't have a lot of time to keep you on, Paul. So I thank you for doing it. We're up against it, but and we want to have you on back quickly. But you're mentioning like the Wings are on the uptick, and but the Rangers and Buffalo and everything else. So, any thoughts on like, can the Wings put the pedal to the metal and get into the playoffs, or they're going to be fighting neck and neck with all these teams you just mentioned?
Right. Well, Jerry, from the start of the season, I maintain it. I said the Red Wings were a much, much better team than the record. They were playing way below what they should be at their level. And that's the worst thing in the world is, like, when you're playing your best hockey, the best team can play, and you're still losing, you're in trouble. But they were so far away from their best game. So I'm like I say, they've won 5 in a row. It won't be easy against Chicago. They just beat Colorado at home 3-1. So they're a hungry team too. But I'm believing the Wings will make the playoffs. I said that last year. They missed it in the wild card. It came down to that.
That stupid the turnover that they made to the Capitals was the whole. The reason why they missed the playoffs.
Just missed it. They should have made it last year. But I'm sticking to my guns. They're going to be a playoff team.
Well, Paul, we'll get you on again soon. Thanks for taking this last-minute call. God bless you. All the best to your mom, and we'll be with you again soon.
Always a pleasure, guys. Take care.
All right, thanks,
All right,
Paul.
take Paul.
Yeah.
Just the salt of the earth.
He absolutely is. Just an absolutely
I
great guy.
I don't even know how I'm friends with the guy. I don't. It's just like,
And getting to know him a little bit by coming up here and
Yeah.
staying and talking to him on the streets of Grayling. And
I don't know why. I don't know why some classy guys like him like me. It makes no sense. But so you see these basketball coaches that I talk to, and you're like, he does not know the real Jerry at all.
Well, the real Jerry, please stand up.
Don't. You're too tough. Just stay seated.
Just. Oh, God.
Let's get James on.
Yeah, we'll talk a little high school hoops around northern Michigan here with James Cook.
I mean, we could do a whole show with Paul.
Oh yeah. Paul's great. I mean, he can keep a conversation rolling. That's for sure.
Well, he knows more about. He's forgotten more hockey than I'll ever know.
Oh, and then the different connections and everybody involved, because he's so, when he talks about opposing teams, it's like he's covered them for years.
Oh yeah, well he has.
He has, but it's just like he knows the ins and outs all the time. So.
Hey James, hold on a second, please. All right, it is time for the Fick & Sons High School Sportscape Show here on Up North Sports Radio. Fick & Sons is your dependable, reliable, and local propane provider. They support high school athletics. Check out everything they do at fickandsons.com. James Cook joining us on the radio. James, where are you headed tonight?
Well, I'm sticking in town tonight for the Traverse City Central against Traverse City West game.
Of course you are.
Excellent choice, James. Excellent choice.
Yeah, the doubleheader, the girls game at 5:30 and the boys game at 7. So.
Yep.
Should be a good night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a vastly improved Traverse City Central team, new coaching staff.
Right.
And they're probably, they're going to be out for blood. They've lost, 2 or 3?
2 games. They're 6-2. And
no, but I'm talking about to West. Yeah.
And
I think they've lost 3 in a row to Traverse City West now in basketball.
They've got another rival kid there, but again, Luke Johnson as their head coach. They've held two of the last 3 teams. One of them held them to 15 points in a boys basketball game, and then the other one was like 26 points. So they play some real defense.
Yeah, it was Bay City. They held the Bay City Central. They held the 15. Sault Ste. Marie. They held the 26. So they've been doing pretty good. They held Midland to 37 earlier in the season.
Yeah. So obviously he is stressing the defensive side of the ball. You know, if the other player doesn't score,
Yeah.
you've done a good job. That's the coin. That's the coin mantra.
That's true. Yeah. And one of their losses was to Rockford, who's one of the top teams in the state this year. So, yeah.
This
Saginaw Heritage is a good team as well.
Yeah.
No, this game is going to tell a lot about, you know, where West is, how hungry Central is. I mean, West plays some pretty good defense too.
Yeah, they do. Absolutely. They turn it up. And I tell you, that Big North this year is going to be a battle because Petoskey's good.
Yep.
Cadillac is Central and West. So, no, it's going to be a 4-team race right to the very end.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that Gaylord got Petoskey last night.
Really?
Oh, I did not know that.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, that was a bit of a surprise. Apparently, Gaylord threw some full court press or something like that at them and kind of surprised them and got them last night.
Okay, we saw.
Well, Gaylord must have made some shots because they've been having trouble shooting the ball. So maybe the lid came off the rim for them. That was in Gaylord, I'm assuming, right, James?
I think so. I'm not positive on that.
All right.
Former Blue Devil player Mr. Gilo there, I saw him. He is currently playing for Oakland University. You know, so he's going to get
surprised.
Going to get some hard, tough coaching there, and he'll improve if he sticks it out there.
Yeah, the Big North Conference is pretty interesting. Interestingly, Central hasn't played a game yet in the league. This will be their first game in the Big North this season.
I thought they played Petoskey.
Cadillac played them.
Cadillac, that's right. Yeah.
Cadillac's played 4 games in the league
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
Alpena's lost 3 games already in the league and Central hasn't played 1.
Hey, that Alpena team is playing tough.
Hey, I call that kid in the middle Big Country, and he brings a little edge to the game for the Alpena Wildcats there, and it's always interesting during the game for sure with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, well, they're the only team in the league that's under 500 at this point, and they're, you know, like you guys said, they're not playing up horribly or anything. Everybody else in the league is over 500.
Yeah. Yep. There's some other interesting matchups around the north, a little Lake Michigan Conference action. Charlevoix takes a short trip to Boyne City.
Yeah, Charlevoix has been pretty impressive the last couple of weeks, coming up with a few pretty big wins for them. So I think they're one of the teams that's kind of on the up and up, coming up here pretty soon. A team that a lot of people probably don't want to play at this point.
Yeah, and Harbor Springs is another one of those teams. I think they only have one loss as they host Elk Rapids tonight.
Yeah, they played them last night in girls and won pretty handily at the girls game. Olivia Flynn for the girls team at Harbor Springs is 20 points away from 2,000.
Wow.
And so they've got an away game against Sheboygan coming up next week, and then I think a home game with Kingsley. So I don't know. She's kind of just hoping to maybe do it at home against Kingsley, but she only scored 14 last night, which is incredibly low for her. I mean, she averages 25, so she seemed to be more interested in passing the ball than scoring it. So interesting to see when she does that, and that'll make it interesting too, because then she'll be father-daughter will both hit 2,000.
Wow, that's pretty.
Oh, that's a very cool record for sure.
I think that could be the first time that's ever happened in Michigan.
Yeah, that's a rare thing. I have not heard a whole lot about that. Scoring 2,000 points to begin with, and then a father-daughter combo. That's amazing.
Yeah, coming into this season, there's only 33. I think it's 33 or 31. I think it's 33 though, that have hit 2,000 in Michigan history, which is ironic because Olivia Flynn wears number 33.
That's funny. Yeah, the Vikings go on the road. They are a surprising Sheboygan team that's only lost one game as well early in the season. So that would be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, Sheboygan's boys team is looking to be, in the new league there to make some noise and go after that first league title in the Northern Shores Conference. It'd be interesting to see how that changes things. Different than the old Lake Michigan look with adding Kingsley and then Sheboygan.
Right. Any other games that you have your eye on, James?
You've got Frankfurt's trying to keep going in the Northwest. Trying to look
the schedule here. Glen Lake at Leland. They're trying to keep pace there. The Northwest Conference in boys basketball is going to be interesting because Frankfurt and Glen Lake have lost games already. But they both got very talented teams. I mean, Carter Kirby is one of the more talented scorers in the area. I think he scored 43 earlier this week in a loss to Benzie. That whole league is going to be just pretty interesting. Neckema's pretty solid, Buckley's solid, Frankfurt, Glen Lake, Benzie is a team that'll be factored in there somewhere too.
Who was the gal that's going to score 2,000 points?
Olivia Flynn.
Olivia Flynn, yeah.
I was watching the Kentucky-Florida game last Saturday, and there's a freshman kid playing for Kentucky who was Mr. Basketball in Kentucky 3 years in a row, who scored 5,381 points in his high school career.
Oof. Holy cow. Oh, my.
5,381 points. And this guy, and he could shoot it.
As a freshman, you got to come out of the gates like averaging 40 or 50 a game, right out of the gates as a 14-year-old.
He averaged his entire high school career 32.5 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists and 4 steals. That was his high school average.
That's just ridiculous.
I mean, that's bigger than Smith. Smith had 4,000 some odd.
Yeah, that's holy.
I didn't want to get off track, but they said it like 4 times, and I'm like, 50. What?
For emphasis, to make you realize it's a real stat.
That's not yards passing. That's points. That's balls going in the hoop.
Dang.
Yeah, Jay Smith is 28-41.
Yeah,
and that's the record, right?
That's the Michigan record for boys.
28.
The girls' record is Jasmine Hines from Central Lakes. She's over 3,000.
Yeah. I remember watching Jasmine.
That's 2,000 less points.
Yeah. That's a whole nother Jay Smith career.
Yeah. Jay Smith cloned himself.
Yeah. Dang.
Yeah.
There's
Anyways.
that girl from Mayo. She keeps going.
Yeah. Mia. Yes.
There was a kid that was playing on Nick Coyne's team down in Seaholm, and his dad was playing had a job with the Lions, and he was the all-time leading scorer in Ohio, and had like almost 4,000. And I'm like, how many assists?
3.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm sorry, I hate to get off track, but that blew my mind. I like I said. What's his name had to say? Jay Billis had to say it like 5 times. I'm like, okay.
Because he couldn't even believe it.
Like, okay, that's my high school and college career combined, and I'm an All-American.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Oh, that's just ridiculous. So. But no, James, all kinds of good action. We're going to start getting into more two games a week now after the Christmas, New Year's break and everything. So it's really
back to Tuesday, Fridays.
Yes, back to some Tuesday, Friday action. Of course, the players want it, the coaches want it, and there's a couple of announcers that want it as well. So I'm sure you'd like to get back into some type of rhythm as well, James.
Yeah, it is a little bit nicer, and I imagine that the players and coaches really got to like just being able to have that routine.
Yeah.
Kind of a weekly routine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas the holidays are kind of more happenstance and everything. You see those games that get played during the holidays and in December, and I think you see more kind of upsets and surprise games in those than you do once you get into January and February.
Yeah, well, like you pointed out, guys, just from the very beginning, what a way to kick off the second half with this Central West game. It's really going to plant a flag. It's going to be rocking at Central tonight.
It will be. Yeah, really looking forward to it because they got to be excited about their program. West is excited, of course, and when they're both playing their best, it's a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, and St. Francis is hosting their tournament tonight too. It's the first annual. It's a different tournament than that showcase that they do. That's
I'm like, wait a minute, don't.
Because we're going to that.
Yeah, that's a Sunday. Don't screw me up, James.
No, they have a 4-team Catholic tournament going on starting today. So it's Saginaw New Bell against Jacksonville and Christie at 5:30, and then Kalamazoo Hackett against St. Francis.
Wow. Well, those are 4 quality names. That's some pretty good basketball. That's tonight?
That's tonight. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then tomorrow is the consolation and championship games.
Yeah. Mates, I'll have to check the times on Saturday.
Yeah.
We'll see if we
1
get.
o'clock is the consolation and 2:30 is the championship.
We'll
game.
get to see if we can get Finnegan on
Yeah.
tomorrow.
February 8th is the showcase that they're having. West is playing Wayne Memorial.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting for sure.
All right, James. I know you and Rich will hook up at the game tonight. I'll be at Hanson Hills.
That's right.
So-
Yeah, doing a remote. Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting on a tube, going down the hill.
I won't be doing that. I'll be trying the new Barnhouse Burger or whatever concoction they have they're always pushing the envelope for the snack bar.
And they like having you there as a taste tester
That's right,
too.
Yeah. Better me than you because
Yeah, that's
you're like,
true. They want to make a profit.
Yeah, I was going to say
it.
no 3-burger deal for the Rich Calkins, the triple double
of a triple threat at the food bar.
Yeah, James. Very quickly, how's the Lions? Not your same old Lions podcast going?
Doing pretty well. We just recorded an episode the other day, kind of a bye-week episode. So,
how surprised were you with the effort and result against the Vikings?
I told Matt, who's the host of the show. I told him before the game. He was pretty nervous about it, and I was like, I actually feel pretty good about this. Before the game, I didn't feel like butterflies or nervous or anything like that going into that game. I kind of surprisingly felt fairly confident in that one. I was surprised at how decisive it was, but I was surprised at how they did it with defense.
Yeah, not giving up a touchdown. And James, you were there. How loud was Ford Field being there live and in person?
Oh, it was crazy loud. Yeah, there was people in the rows, a couple rows in front of us that had a premium made sign that they had done or had made up, and it said "Make their ears bleed," but it had another word in there that we can't radio.
Right.
It was incredibly loud, especially when the Vikings had the ball, obviously, and whenever Dan Skipper got named as receiver.
I love how they've backed him every time he comes. He's checked into the game when the roar comes from the crowd. It's great.
The stats with and without Alex Anzalone on defense are so remarkable that it's like 5,379 points. I mean, the defense ranking without Anzalone was 29th. Overall defense,
Sure.
and there's a lot of different stats here.
Yeah.
With him, they're 11th.
Wow.
You think he's going to get it? You think he's coming, getting a pay raise?
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I think he should. It was interesting before the game. The Vikings won the toss and elected to defer, so the Lions were going to receive the open kickoff and be on offense. But the Lions decided in that to announce their starting lineup instead, or the defensive starting lineup instead. And they waited and did Anzalone last in the starting lineup, and the crowd went crazy.
I saw the YouTube video of that. Yeah, that was amazing.
Good to have him back.
For sure.
And it looks like Terry and Arnold will probably play next week. And what's his name's getting with his
jaw?
The jaw.
Yeah. Carlton Davis.
Yeah, it looks like he'll be back as well.
Hopefully he hasn't lost a ton of weight.
And Montgomery.
Eating through a straw. So, I mean, that's...
those protein shakes, you should know about those.
Keep his weight on, yeah. Keep it up, baby. Keep it up.
Thanks, James. Where do you find that podcast? Is there a link on
every place? It's on pretty much every. Well, we usually post it on Twitter right after we get done editing and everything with it. So there's if you look at mine or Matt's or Jerry Anger's Twitter accounts, we usually repost it there. Matt recently just started up a Twitter account for the podcast, so it's NTSOL podcast. So not the same old Lions podcast.
Okay.
Very nice.
All right, James. Enjoy the game tonight.
Yeah, no problem. And if you're looking for hockey, there's a lot of hockey going on this weekend too, at the Rick Dunawith Memorial North-South Showcase over at Center Ice. There's, I think, 24 teams from all around the state playing in this. So there's
holy cow.
They started playing at 9 a.m. this morning, and there's 12 games.
Gee.
Wow.
There's
9 a.m.
Dang, 24 teams. All right.
And then
These
there's
are
10 games tomorrow. There was two games that got played last night.
These are all high school hockey teams?
Yep. They schedule.
I should have played high school hockey. You get out of school. we never missed class when I played basketball. All right, thanks, James.
See you tonight, James.
All right.
No problem. See ya.
There you go. James Cook from the Traverse City Record Eagle, bringing us the great information for the Fick & Sons High School Sportscape Show. Fick & Sons is your local, competitive, and reliable propane provider, but there's so much more than just propane. They provide home heating fuel for residential and commercial customers. From Charlie's Country Corner over here on 4 Mile Road on I-75 outside of Grayling, that includes an Arby's, a convenience store, Super 8 by Wyndham, and the full-service diesel garage. In Roscommon, they have the Sunny Spot Fuel and Convenience Store. In Kalkaska, they have the Bear Lakes Marathon, which I use all the time. They have a full liquor department and great pizza. In Whittemore, the Crossroads Citgo offering gas to include diesel, racing fuel, snacks, drinks, and an excellent deli. They offer propane cylinder exchanges at all locations. Fick & Sons expanding their services throughout northern Michigan. Check out everything they have to offer by going to fickandsons.com. Looks like mid to late February, opening up the Dunkin' Donuts marathon / mini mart.
Right.
There's a big mini mart in there too.
Right along the business loop there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't know who's going to get there first, Rich or Cheryl Coyne. Cheryl loves Dunkin' Coffee. All right, Rich.
All right. Big game tonight. Looking forward to it. And we'll be back here tomorrow morning.
Yes, if you want to follow that game, go to Up North Sports Radio's Facebook page. You'll see video and audio descriptions of what should be a fantastic basketball game.
Yeah, really looking forward. It's always fun.
And Red Wings are on tonight right here. They're playing the Blackhawks at 7 o'clock. So you can hear Paul Woods give you all the action there. Thanks for joining us. Back to Infinity Sports Radio.
There will be a new starting QB in Pittsburgh next season.
So there should be. Okay, I'm going to buy. But also, if the offense struggles and Russell Wilson doesn't play well, right, even if he doesn't play badly, if there's not a change next year, I'll also buy that I think it's time to start talking about the need for Tomlin to be more ambitious offensively. And that's not a change. It's not going to get a new coach. But at a certain point, if you're Tomlin, you have to, I think, change the onus on yourself from taking lemons and making lemonade, taking these teams and making the playoffs to being better and whatever that requires to be a real contender.
Buy or sell, you want to hear a crazy thought?
Buy.
Could Mike Tomlin coach Aaron Rodgers?
Sell. I think the thing that Tomlin has created, the culture he's created, is rare. And usually these sort of culture builders, you can't measure that kind of success because it's not a stat and it's hard for the numbers people or the old school people to feelings don't matter, right? It's the one area where the old schoolers and the data people have equal skepticism, but you can measure with Tomlin. The guy hasn't had a losing season, period. I mean, it's amazing. And I think that Aaron Rodgers would incredibly jeopardize that. I think you need to build on what you've done if you're Tomlin, but not at the risk of this thing you've created.
Speaking of build or Bills, all right, that transition didn't work. I know. Buy or sell, the Denver Broncos are playing with house money on Sunday in Buffalo against the Bills.
Oh, that's a good question. Is it house money? I mean, buy. But it's year one for Bo Nix. I won't even say it. That's a kindness.
That had to be like week 2.
But you were real into it.
Yeah, I liked it.
It's a good name.
It was.
But it also has to fit.
Yeah, it wasn't accurate.
Bo Picks is what Tom. Yeah. Buy or sell if the Bills lose this game, heads will roll.
Buy. All right, Bill, buy or sell, you'd rather have Jaden Daniels over Baker Mayfield in a must-win game like, I don't know, Sunday night?
I don't know, actually. We'll know the answer to that on Sunday night. I'd obviously rather have Jaden Daniels to build a team around in the future, and he can project to those moments, but I'll sell that, actually.
Sell.
And I'm taking the Commanders. I'm betting on. But there's a lot that's wrong with Tampa Bay right now. I mean, and Ty Dunn talked about how banged up they are, and their secondary is something you can target. A Baker Mayfield in a one-game situation under the clutch, I know that Baker can do it. That's a really interesting question because I'm on the Commanders. So I think Jaden Daniels might be so much better that it doesn't come down to that. It doesn't come down to – it is a big game, but for me, those come down to key moments. You don't have to worry about those moments if you can get up 13-0, 14-6. It becomes less pressing.
Bill, buy or sell, you expect Vikings quarterback Sam Darnold to play like he did last Sunday night against the Lions in his first ever playoff game on Monday night against the Rams?
So I'll sell that I expect it.
Sell.
But I'll buy that it's possible. I mean, if you pie charted this thing, I think you're talking in the 30th percentile that it happens. It is not an outrageous thing the way it would be to say that Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow, if he were playing in the playoffs, which he's not, or Josh Allen are going to put up a dud. That would be an outrageous thing to say, yeah, that could happen. I don't think it will happen. It's not my expected outcome that Sam Darnold has back-to-back stinkers in a year where he's been great, but it's in the realm of possibility.
All right, I need to preface this next one. It's not going to go the way that I wanted it to go when I wrote the question because a lot of things have changed between now and then. But buy or sell, Bill, on a scale of 1 to 10, you're at least a 5 in terms of confidence picking the Packers to beat the Eagles.
Oh, you thought you were going to be obnoxious?
I tried.
Buy that I'm confident.
Buy.
Ty Dunn shocked you. You look like you've been slapped in the face.
Stunned.
Buy or sell, of all the moments you feel sorry for yourself on the show, that was the hardest of the day.
Buy. Yeah, I did not expect that whatsoever.
Buy or sell, you getting your feelings like this at home, too.
Buy.
Oh, you do?
I am who I am, man. Absolutely. Absolutely. I can't pretend anything.
I think the Packers can win this game. I mean, this isn't a crazy... Doesn't mean that they will. I love Ty. I thought I was going to get what I've gotten a few times, which is, oh, Bill. Well, all right, I'll play your game, you moron. But Ty he did where he breathed there, so we're in this together kind of a moment. We are playoff blood brothers now, Ty and I.
So he picked against me because I got the Eagles going to the Super Bowl, and he also ripped me for saying Happy New Year. It went really well for me.
Buy or sell, you will stop saying Happy New Year to people.
Buy. I hadn't spoken to Ty since the new year.
So here's the thing that I've been doing. I won't say Happy New Year to people now, but I will respond. I've gotten some Happy New Year emails this week from people, and I'll write back happy. I'll do the response, but I don't love it. I don't love where their head's at. I don't love where they're coming from.
And of all people, I did not expect Ty to say something back to me. I thought he'd just roll with it. Nope. Not at all. It was like I got to draw a line in the sand here, man. It's January 10th.
Yeah, I respect it. How long can you wish someone that you're close to a happy birthday after the birthday?
I'd say, 2 weeks is too much. I'd say 1 week.
I don't think you can.
1 week?
If someone you're close to, your brother, your sister's wife or whatever.
Well,
your sister doesn't have a wife. Your sister's sister, your wife's sister. God help me. I can't speak.
I don't want to revisit ancient history, but there may have been a person who worked on this show who may have forgotten your birthday last year.
Yeah. I mean, dude, that's fine.
So, you get a grace period.
I sing badly. You don't know how to be kind. These are things we've accepted about each other.
Yeah, you're trying to be a better person, and I am who I am.
You are. Buy or sell, you were this ridiculously stubborn when you were 4.
Sell.
Something happened to you? Like, was there something that happened?
Yeah, I got to assume that this is some sort of learned trait. Like I wasn't always like this. I can't tell you though. I don't know what it was.
Because you used to come on the show when you first started producing, and your sole focus in the pre-production was analogies about some girl that broke your heart.
I was working through some things, man.
I know. Is that where it comes from?
I mean, maybe it's possible. You don't want me to do
I
those
miss
anymore.
those.
Yeah, like I got to a good place where I was working through some stuff, but then all of a sudden it just stopped. It just stopped, and I wasn't healed yet.
I miss those.
All right,
they
Bill.
were uber specific.
Yeah, not about sports or the show or the
The
content
Packers'
of the
attempt to
show.
beat the Eagles this weekend is much like a 15-year-old boy who works at a record shop who met a girl that said she wanted to date him, but when she didn't, and she went out with a guy named Steve. I was like, what am I reading? It's 4 in the morning. I need another cup of coffee.
Really helped the show, though. Really, really helped the show.
It made me laugh. I enjoyed it.
Bill, let's talk some college football here. Originally, Carson Beck declared for the NFL draft a couple weeks ago. But according to reports, Beck is entering the transfer portal, so he's leaving Georgia with the Miami Hurricanes as the strong favorite to be his landing spot. Bill, buy or sell, Carson Beck is making the right decision by staying in college.
I don't know. This is all crazy. I mean, I guess. The transfer portal's gone too far, and it needs to be regulated. I have a question. This is important. I have a friend. We have him on the show a lot, named Howard Beck, who's a big-time NBA guy. He's very straight-laced. He's very serious, and so I'll ask him outrageous questions. He'll lose his brain, and we'll play a what the Beck drop. Buy or sell, it's okay to play what the Beck for someone that's not Howard Beck.
Sell.
Yeah, okay. I think that's right. I think we shouldn't do it. That's his. But it is the guy's going to leave Georgia? It's not like Georgia won 3 games this year. No, I've already said this a bunch. I've never asked this. I have said that I think there should be restrictions on transfer portal based on income. There should be a scale of money that if you pull in a certain amount of money, you're locked in for at least a year. If you pull in an amount above that, it's 2 years, and so on and so forth. So if you're the highest paid NIL guy in America, you can't leave your program. Is basically the deal. Buy or sell, you're down for some sort of system along those lines.
Buy.
I think that sounds like a good regulation. Some sort of border on this thing.
Yes. It's coming. I just don't know how quickly.
It's the wild, wild west right now.
Is.
All right, Bill.
Buy or sell, the wild, wild west would have been a terrifying place to live.
Buy.
Yeah.
Also, not a great movie.
Road rage now is scary enough, but can you imagine if it was like horse rage?
How do I answer that? What am I supposed to say to that?
With your next question.
All right, Bill, last one for you today. Buy or sell, you could see any of the NFL teams who currently need a head coach, and right now there's 6 of them, reaching out to Ryan Day, Sark, or Marcus Freeman once their collegiate seasons are over.
Sell.
No way.
For any of them.
Don't do it. Who's the last college person? I mean, Cliff Kingsbury worked as a coordinator eventually, but it doesn't work. It never works. Outside of Jimmy and Pete Carroll. I'd rather have Pete Carroll. Go hire Pete Carroll if you want a former college coach. That's it?
That's all I got for you today.
Those are the questions?
That's all of them.
Does Mrs. DeSalle, does she still listen to the show sometimes?
Not today, but sometimes.
So how do you know not today?
Well, I may have said a couple things last night to put her in a bad mood. So I don't think she's Team Tom today.
So you spoke?
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to.
Well,
so you're still working through some stuff.
Yeah.
You can put that in the email in the morning if you need to.
Yeah. And as per usual with me, I don't see what I did wrong.
Yeah, Clara, I think you might, since you brought it up. I mean, I was just making small talk.
Well, she made it very clear how she felt last night, and I assume that just carries into today.
Okay. Marriage advice for Tom, and in related news, bum of the week, after we get a sports flash from Andrew Bogish.
Infinity Sports Network. Sports Flash.
Bill, maybe it would have been Penn State kicking the winning field goal in the final seconds of the Orange Bowl, but Nittany Lions QB Drew Aller made a mistake at the worst possible time.
I should have just thrown it away when I
felt the first two progressions not open just because of the situation we were in, but I was just trying to dirt it at Amari's feet, but just didn't execute what I was trying to do.
Aller picked off by a diving Christian Gray with 33 seconds left. Notre Dame turned it into Mitch Jeter's 41-yard field goal and a 27-24 win. Aller had two other INTs wiped out by penalty. He did not complete a pass to a wide receiver last night. Penn State is now 1-15 against top 5 teams under James Franklin. The Irish, meanwhile, returned to the national title game for the first time in 12 years. Their last title was in 1988. The morning after this loss, Penn State DN Abdul Carter declares for the NFL draft. He is a likely top 5 pick in April. NFL Network says the Cowboys and Mike McCarthy begin talks on a new contract today. And the NFL is sending the Jets and Browns to London along with the Jaguars next season. I'm Andrew Bogish.
This is the Infinity Sports Network. Follow us on Instagram. Our handle is Infinity Sports Network. That's Infinity Sports Network to follow us on Instagram.
It's football season, and now you can get anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. Well, almost anything. You can't get a running back, but baby back ribs? Yes. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.
I've got huge news for you. WWE Monday Night Raw is live every week on Netflix. Live drama, live heroes, live action, featuring some of the biggest names in WWE, such as John Cena, undisputed WWE Champion, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Bianca Belair. There's never been a better time to step into the ring and stream WWE Raw. WWE Monday Night Raw is now on Netflix.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Here's a riddle for you. What do yoga mats, a toothbrush, and a Hyundai have in common? I'll give you a moment. Time's up. If you guessed they're all fun, well-designed, and super useful, you guessed wrong. The answer is you can order all these things on Amazon. And the best part, you won't even have to break down a car-sized Amazon box after, because you'll pick up your Hyundai at the dealer. Hyundai, now available on Amazon. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. Limited availability. Pick up through a participating Hyundai dealers in select markets.
We've all got a thing. Yeah, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
Happy Friday! It's Delta 910 meteorologist Haley Fischetti. Here's a look at today's forecast. Scattered snow showers moving into the region throughout the day today, turning more widespread throughout the day, so something to be mindful of as you drive for your evening commute coming home. We are looking at those winds from the west-southwest direction around 8 to 18 miles per hour, and your highs a bit warmer compared to the past couple days in the mid-20s to low 30s. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies around with those showers turning more into lake effect conditions and winds also shifting more towards the northwest. Lows are going to be in the 20s as we stay pretty mild this weekend. Well, all the details over on 9 and 10 News.
The weather is brought to you by Bay Mills Resort and Casino, your year-round adventure on the shores of Lake Superior. After a fun-filled day outside, enjoy excitement at Bay Mills with your favorite games, food, and entertainment. Visit baymillscasino.com or like Bay Mills on Facebook.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-785-9132. That's 800-785-9132. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-785-9132.
Miss Fernandez, what are those tiny things?
Those are what we call amoebas. You can only see them through a microscope.
Wow.
Today's students are tomorrow's great thinkers and innovators. But right now, there's a funding crisis in public schools. Millions of kids go to schools that don't have funding for books, computers, and so much more just because of where they live. You can help change that. Donors Choose is a nonprofit that lets you support students and teachers in your community and beyond. You choose which supplies to support. You could provide first graders with pencils and paper, or other students with their first chapter books, help a music class get a guitar.
You could even supply a classroom like mine with a science project. But what you're really giving is the moment that sparks a brighter tomorrow.
To learn more, please visit DonorsChoose.org. That's DonorsChoose.org. Choose students. Shape the future.
Furnished by Donors Choose.
Welcome back into the show. Bill Ryder with you. By the way, live in 17 minutes, I'll be on YouTube, Beyond the Arc, CBS Sports' daily NBA podcast. John Gonzalez off today. Sam Quinn stepping in, coming off the bench. 6th Man of the Year candidate. Let's go. Let's go. Pat Riley says he might be washed. We're going to hit that. Poor Riles. Never thought I'd feel sorry for that guy. Kind of do, though. Tom, marriage is hard. That's my advice. Suck it up. You're welcome.
Got it.
You're welcome. Don't antagonize your wife. I don't know what happened. I'm not saying you did or didn't. I'm just saying don't antagonize your wife as a rule.
Don't be me is what you're saying.
Well, you don't like to live in the valley. Peaks and valleys. I like there's peaks and valleys in a marriage. I like the valley a lot of the time. I'm here for it. I have a tent by myself. Camp out, have a beer. That's nice.
Yeah, I'm not made for that. I'm not built for that.
Nobody wants to live in the woods forever, where most of us don't. But, a little camping trip here and there to the valley is fun. Rough it a little bit.
Are you staying there this weekend?
No, I don't. Well, that's not my plan to.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, no, I think I'm on a, what's between the peak and the valley? I guess I'm in the meadow.
Okay, meadow living this weekend.
I don't know where I'm at. It's football season. And Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food, no matter what you're craving. Uber Eats, official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. The Chargers are in Houston tomorrow to take on the Texans as the first game of Wild Card Weekend. It'll be a great weekend of football. The Chargers are 3-point road favorites. I will rock some Uber Eats. When you're doing the Uber Eats, will you go fancy or because you can get the whole thing? I kind of go fancy.
Really?
Yeah, well, sometimes.
Nah, I'm not really fancy when I do the Uber Eats.
What is the tip requirement on an Uber Eats or a delivery?
I struggle with this one.
Me too.
It's
10%?
Yeah, it's not the same as if you were in.
It's not 20.
Yeah, I agree. I fully agree.
It's going to save you some money is what I'm telling you. Now, do you have to tip the restaurant and the driver? Are those separate?
You tip the driver. That's how that works. Driver only.
What percentage of drivers go back and tip the driver? You give the driver 21%. How much is he giving the restaurant?
Goose eggs. Double zero.
Zero.
Nothing.
So that awkward thing where you do the carry out and they give you the receipt. Do I tip? I don't know. My brother runs a restaurant. He says 10%. But sometimes I do 0. Sometimes I do 15. A lot of times I do 10. That driver walks in there and just says, hey, nothing for you fools.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're
Absolutely.
We have, there's peaks and valleys in a marriage, and there's peaks and valleys as an executive producer. Let's see where Tom falls in this week's edition a bum of the week.
Hallelujah, I'm a bum. All he's doing is a whole lot of damn nothing. I'm a bum. You rotten bum! I'm a bum. They're a bunch of bums. I'm a bum. I'm a bum. I'm a bum.
Who's the bum this week? Let's find out on Righter Than You.
A lot of really good candidates, by the way. Really good. The first person I thought of was Brian Kelly. First person I thought of. He didn't even do anything. Exactly. Because Notre Dame making the championship game last night takes a nice, big, beautiful highlighter. You could highlight something in the real world, and it just puts in highlight yellow Brian Kelly hightailing it for LSU. So he's nominated. I liked JT's nomination again. I'm going to read it. I would like to nominate everyone who said expanding the college football playoffs to 12 teams is a bad thing and it would cheapen the regular season. You were wrong. We were right. We are cool. You guys lick windows. Hashtag you're a bum. I love it. I'm trying to decide if you get a nomination, just you. Tom, I don't think so. Why are you shaking your head? Okay. You know what? I can conjure one up. I don't think I do I? I think I've sort of avoided that this week.
No, I think you had a really good week.
Yeah, you did, huh? I mean, Tyreek Hill has to be nominated. He could win. Announcing that he wants to leave in the locker room post game. It's not quite the Magic Johnson I quit. Somebody tell Jeannie from several years ago, but it's on the same level of, hey man, time and place. Oh, James Franklin. Basically saying Notre Dame didn't belong there because they didn't play a conference game and then not be able to beat Notre Dame. This is tough. This is tough. Anybody else you want to put out there?
I think I got a couple for you.
Okay.
How about Micah Parsons of the Dallas Cowboys?
Good one.
Saying
Good
they're going to
one.
win the Super Bowl next season. And then how about a fully encompassing Las Vegas Raiders?
Okay, I'm here for the Raiders.
Just the total dysfunction.
Am I right that Aaron Rodgers was back-to-back Bum of the Year and was last week's Bum of the Week?
He was certainly back-to-back Bum
Was it
of
Brian
the Year.
Kelly?
It was Brian Kelly last week.
Wow.
Yeah.
He could be off to a rough start.
Yeah. And he hasn't even played a game in weeks.
No. So part of the reason he's on these lists. I mean, LS Oops.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah. Also, if you're LSU, you have to feel like you paid for a bill of goods. It's a land scam, you know? You like LS Oops.
That's where you need to write that one down.
It's your job.
Oh, yeah.
All right, you're nominated. Just kidding. You know what? It doesn't happen a lot. Credit to JT. We're going with him. For saying the college football playoff would be a bad thing. For saying it would cheapen the regular season. For being wrong. For apparently not being cool and for licking windows. Everybody who doubted the college football expanded playoff magic, you're the bums of the week, bros.
That's your Bum of the Week.
I detest you!
On Righter Than You.
Now, I think something that we should do here, because we keep a running list, I think when you put it in the file, you got to put a little asterisk, and you got to just say that this is partially you. You're a part of this contingent.
What are you saying here? I get like a 0.25%?
Yeah, kind of. It's a weird, like at the end of the year, it'll be you or Bum of the Week, whatever, you'll be 11 times, and you had this too. On your resume.
I want to be mad at this, but licking windows, that's strong. That's strong.
He
right
went,
there.
JT Monty 1014 on X went aggressive. Can we talk about the fact you've been sick for 7 weeks?
I'd rather not.
Steam room, which you can use in your shower. Steam room.
I really
take
these suggestions as if they're TV show or movie recommendations. I'm not doing them. I'm not doing them.
Emergency or their equivalent. It's equivalent. Are you do you go home and just pound bourbon? Stop drinking.
No, I'm not built for that either.
Yeah. I think it's like drink lots of water. Are you drinking soda nonstop?
No, I'm drinking water, but usually when I'm drinking the water, it's like so I'm not like choking.
Okay, I'm not sure what the words you're speaking. What do you mean? Oh, I see. Just drink water nonstop. You have to drink the water nonstop.
Yeah, because I'm having like coughing fits.
You have to just keep drinking the water nonstop. Chicken noodle soup. You got to eat well. Have you been rocking the chicken noodle soup?
No, not at all.
Okay, that's gonna help.
I'm not.
Does your wife think you're faking it?
No, but like you, she gives me a lot of suggestions, and a lot of them are very, very similar.
Very excited about Monday's show. We're going to come in and we're going to have a national championship game set because remember, tonight is Texas, Ohio State. Man, I really want Texas to win this game. I'll tell you what, Ohio State's gotten here. They beat Oregon. They obviously can do it. There's a vulnerability that they showed in that Michigan game. Obviously, you got to win to get here. But those games, they weren't the favorite against Oregon, right? That wasn't the expectation. They're back to being the team that's getting chased, not the team that's chasing. They're the target now. I kind of like Texas. Could go either way.
I'm taking the Buckeyes.
Is there some of that just doubting Ewers and what he can do, what he can be?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've seen this before. What if Arch Manning pulls a Tua Tagovailoa, gets put in the second half, leads a comeback? The internet will explode.
You know, it's funny. Before you said that, I wouldn't be surprised if he got in for a couple plays.
The thing is, in order for that to work, the defense is going to have to hold a house. Ewers can be dropped, but it won't matter if it's 24-3 or something. I think Texas got a fighting chance. I think it's going to be a really, really good game. And then we obviously have all these NFL games over the weekend. That is a show for us. We appreciate you listening. Appreciate your time. Thank you to Ty Dunn. Thank you to, Merry, happy Thanksgiving guy over here, Pretty Daddy, Heal Up guy. I'm Bill Ryder. Thank you for listening where you are. We appreciate your time. Have a great weekend. See you back here Monday on Ryder Than You.
Paramount Plus is your streaming home for the NFL playoffs on CBS. It all kicks off with 2 wildcard games as the Chargers visit the Texans Saturday at 4:30 Eastern and the Bills host the Broncos Sunday at 1 Eastern. And it's all streaming live on Paramount Plus.
Here's a riddle for you. What do yoga mats, a toothbrush, and a Hyundai have in common? I'll give you a moment. Time's up. If you guessed they're all fun, well-designed, and super useful, you guessed wrong. The answer is you can order all these things on Amazon. And the best part, you won't even have to break down a car-sized Amazon box after because you'll pick up your Hyundai at the dealer. Hyundai, now available on Amazon. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. Limited availability. Pick up through a participating Hyundai dealers in select markets.
Paramount Plus is your streaming home for the NFL playoffs on CBS. It all kicks off with 2 wildcard games as the Chargers visit the Texans Saturday at 4:30 Eastern and the Bills host the Broncos Sunday at 1 Eastern. And it's all streaming live on Paramount Plus.
What makes Benetham so special is that it's cozy and friendly enough to be your neighborhood hangout and distinctive enough to host special occasions and celebrations every day. Visit Benethams.com to make your reservation. Benethams, for the true love of food.
At Roscommon Auto Recyclers, we understand that sinking feeling you get when your check engine light comes on. Your car seems to be running fine, so you try to ignore it. But that light is trying to tell you something is not quite right. Don't panic. It might be a small fix, but if left untreated, could turn into something more serious. Roscommon Auto Recyclers is here to set your mind at ease. ASC certified technicians and affordable prices. Find us in Roscommon at 290 East Federal Highway or online at roscommonautorecyclers.com. Check engine light off.
Hey, it's Anthony Bellino from Spin on Sports, Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show on the Great Voice Radio Network. Heard live weekday mornings from 6 to 9 right here on Up North Sports Radio 101.1 WGRY. Whether it's Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, Lions, Michigan State, the Big Ten, the Mid-American Conference, all the headlines, all the stories, and always Michigan teams first. It's all right here on Spin on Sports, weekday mornings from 6 to 9 on the Great Voice Radio Network. Heard locally on Up North Sports Radio 101.1 WGRY.
But one day he did, and it was the most terrifying moment of our lives.
If I didn't have a home security system, I would have realized way too late he's gone.
Right now, Vivint is offering a free doorbell camera with any new plan, plus free installation and low monthly monitoring plans. Smart locks, lights, cameras, and more makes Vivint Home Security the smartest way to protect your family and prevent a tragedy. Vivint is the #1 smart home service provider in the U.S. Protection is just a phone call away. Call 800-953-6693. That's 800-953-6693. Monthly service agreement required for free installation.
The IRS, the world's most aggressive collection agency. They can seize your property, bank account, and garnish your wages. They cause sleepless nights for millions of Americans. Don't be one of them. If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, get protected today. Call 800-242-3186. Coast One Tax Group, protecting your bank, home, and your sleep since 2008. With hundreds of 5-star reviews and an A+ on the Better Business Bureau. Call Coast One Tax Group, 800-242-3186. Stanley from New York owed $93,000. The IRS placed a levy on his bank account. Coast One released the levy and settled with the IRS for $2,000. Mark in Michigan owed $225,000. After Coast One stepped in, Mark walked away paying less than $1,500. Call Coast One now. A 10-minute call can save you up to 93% on your back taxes. Get your fresh start today. That's 800-242-3186.
Sponsored by Coast One Financial Group.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-785-9132. That's 800-785-9132. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-785-9132.
WGRY, a division of Blarney Stone Broadcasting, 101.1 FM, Roscommon.
Is the Rich Eisen.
Everybody?
Can't get enough of the Rich Eisen Show? You're in luck. You can find us everywhere. Watch us weekdays on the Roku Sports Channel from noon to 3 Eastern. Miss the show? We've got a podcast so you can listen anytime. But here's the best part. Our YouTube channel. Subscribe at youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show and you'll never miss a moment. Now, on with the show. This is the Rich Eisen Show.
Shake that bottle and make it. Aller throws. Loose ball. Intercepted. Christian Gray picks it off.
Live from the Rich Eisen Show studio in Los Angeles.
Good snap. Good hold. Kick on its way. And the kick is good. Yes!
Today's guests. Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford, Vikings safety Harrison Smith, NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero, host of NBC's Deal or No Deal Island, Joe Manganiello. And now, it's Rich Eisen.
That's right, everybody. Welcome to this edition of the Rich Eisen Show, live on the Roku Sports Channel. And also this Rich Eisen Show radio affiliate on the Infinity Sports Network, coast to coast, Sirius XM channel 158. We appreciate everybody checking us out every single day, whether you're streaming us on Odyssey or maybe through our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show. Our podcasts are all out there for you to listen to all 3 hours every single day. Overreaction Monday on Mondays. What the Football is Suzy Schuster and Amy Trask on Tuesday. Stephen A. Smith was their guest this week. No Contest Wrestling with O'Shea and TJ every single Wednesday. The Jim Jackson Show was off this week due to everything that's going on right here in our fair city of Los Angeles. We'll talk about the game on Monday Night Football being moved, not only with you at 844-204-RICH, number to dial, but I had a chance to chat with Matthew Stafford yesterday before that announcement and after a fire had just broken out in the area of the Los Angeles Rams facility. And it's just a crazy time here in L.A. And just, again, want to start this show thanking all of the first responders here in Los Angeles. If they're somehow watching or listening today in a break, and I'm sending my thanks to every single first responder across the country that's watching us or listening to us. Thank you. My goodness, in advance. Harrison Smith of the Minnesota Vikings will be joining us on this program as well to be fair and balanced about the Super Wild Card Weekend finale on Monday Night Football. Tom Pelissero is going to join us. What a ton of stuff to talk about with him, with the latest news coming out of Dallas on their coaching front. We'll get to that in a second. Everything going on with the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Jets are interviewing a ton of coaches. Same thing, coaching candidates, including, by the way, the latest one, Mike Locksley, the head coach of Maryland football, who is a terrific football coach. That's an interesting out-of-the-box interview request for the Jets. I kind of dig that idea. It shows you that they are really checking out every possibility for trying to finally get some stability and turn things around for that playoff-hungry, win-hungry fan base. So there's a lot to talk about with him. And then later on in hour number 3, I kind of feel like we should remove the guest chair and put in a couch for a therapy session with Joe Manganiello, diehard Steeler fan, and the host of NBC's Deal or No Deal Island 2-hour premiere hitting this past Tuesday this week. And then there's a What's More Likely Friday. I got a top 5 list. My God, there's so much to talk about. Good to see you over there, Chris Brockman.
Hey, Rich. Good to see you, man.
DJ Mikey D is in D's Nuts. Good to see you, Rich. Sir. Back in your chair. TJ Jefferson, good to see you, sir. Appreciate
What's up, everybody?
Everybody being here today. Now, last night's college football playoff semifinal game between Notre Dame and Penn State. Now, that's the stuff. Now, Texas and Arizona State played an exciting football game. Outside of that, the college football playoffs have not been very competitive.
Agreed.
And last night would have been, had these been the 4 teams that the College Football Playoff Committee taken, if this was under the usual way of doing things. And that's making a huge leap because schedules would have been different, and maybe Ohio State would have been one of the 4 and Penn State wouldn't have been. I don't know who would have made it, who wouldn't have made it. But let's just say Penn State and Notre Dame would have been 2 of the 4. Well, that looked like a college football playoff game last night, didn't it? Now, that was something. And that was a superb defensive battle. And both of these defenses, again, I know it was 27-24 in the very end, but both of these defenses, terrific. Let me just say this about Penn State's number 11. We're going to see Abdul Carter do professionally.
Do work.
What we saw him do collegiately. I don't think there's any question about it. I think he might be a top 5 pick. Last night, Chris, you were texting like Notre Dame's offense can't do very much. And I'm like, that's what happens when you're going against a Pro Bowl pass rusher.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like,
I know. Not an All-American, a Pro Bowl.
He looks like a Pro Bowl pass rusher. Oh, my God.
Is he going to be there at 4, you think?
That might not be a bad selection.
We'll
Dude, that might not be a bad choice for the Patriots.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
What a beast.
And that's Tyler Warren, number 44 as well.
Yep.
And Drew Aller had a terrific season. His final pass of the night was just one that I think is unfortunately going to be living with that kid today. And for the immediate future, obviously, he's got a bright future ahead of himself. We'll see what he does moving forward. But that set up Notre Dame for the game-winning field goal. And Riley Leonard played a terrific game last night, I thought. And, the interception at the end was as costly as they come. And it set up Mitch Jeter, the transfer from South Carolina, to win it all with his dad shooting the game-winning field goal on his phone and then putting it in his pocket and then beginning the celebration. His father, as Sean McDonough kept mentioning, a chiropractor
Right.
who had helped his son nurse his son back from injury. If this wasn't Notre Dame, I would have thought that's a very Jewish story. If it wasn't Notre Dame, that sounds like half the people I went to camp with. Oh, my dad's a chiropractor, and he helped me out. But congratulations to Notre Dame. And this fella, Marcus Freeman. I mean, Notre Dame, you could say, is a very 21st century college football team. I know they play like a champion today. Rudy, Newt Rockney. I know they're old school, right?
For the Gipper.
But you've got a team full of transfers from Duke and Clemson, Marshall, South Carolina. We kind of went through all that after Notre Dame advanced to the college football semifinal because of how many transfers they have and how that minute and a half period that Notre Dame got against Georgia to get through with a sack force fumble by a Duke transfer to lead to a Duke quarterback to throw to a Clemson transfer and then a Marshall transfer led off the next series after that touchdown after halftime with a return for a touchdown, and Mitch Jeter, the aforementioned field goal kicker, is a South Carolina transfer. That the transfer portal has helped Notre Dame get to where it is now, along with obviously a terrific recruiting process and a head coach. You want to talk about a 21st century college football story, okay? Brian Kelly decides to leave for greener, apparently, SEC pastures in LSU. And he does so on the eve of the announcement of the college football playoffs. He left in late November of 2021. And then on December 2nd, 2021, Notre Dame turns to their 35-year-old defensive coordinator who had been with the program for all of less than 1 year because Brian Kelly hired Marcus Freeman from the staff in Cincinnati to be his defensive coordinator. He doesn't have a Notre Dame history at all. He's an Ohio State Buckeye as a player. Wouldn't that be an interesting final? And which it very well could be. And he was at Notre Dame for less than a year. And the players start, tweeting out that they want him. And Notre Dame, to its credit, says, all right, we'll go with a guy who's never done it before at the highest level of head coaching. We'll go with a guy in his mid-30s. The kids love him. We see him. And I guess they knew at the time what we're all finding out. He's terrific. And in this day and age of transfer portal for kids and head coaches, he takes the gig, and look where they are now. They're playing for the national championship, which even as recently as week 2, after losing at home to Northern Illinois on NBC, we're talk about, I guess, late 20th century, early 21st century story, which is the home of Notre Dame football, which is why they're independent, because they got their own deal with a television network, just one with NBC. They've made it. After losing to Northern Illinois, they're playing for college football's greatest prize against either Texas or the Ohio State. Marcus Freeman's alma mater. This was the coach after the win last night.
I often tell them in your lowest moments, you find out the most about yourself. And we've had low moments, but we had a really low moment. We know week 2, and these guys battle. We got great leaders. We got great players that chose to put this university and this football program in front of themselves. And that, to me, is probably the single thing that I'm probably most proud of is how we have a group of individuals that truly put Notre Dame football in front of themselves. Like, I know Riley and Christian truly would rather be in that locker room celebrating than being up here. But that's what it takes. It takes 120 guys saying, you know what, who cares how many plays I get? Who cares what type of individual praise I get? It's all for Notre Dame and to make sure we achieve team glory. And we have a locker room of guys made up of that. And that, to me, is a reflection of what you saw today. The guys that did whatever it took to find a way to make sure we achieve the outcome we want.
And speaking at a personal level, about what I believe Marcus Freeman's greatest achievement is he's been on here multiple times. We had him on after he took the job. He's been on multiple times. He was on just before the college football playoff, right, when it looked like he might be playing Tennessee. Remember that, the final week? He wound up playing Indiana. On a personal level, I think Marcus Freeman's greatest achievement is me when I watch this team. I kind of like Notre Dame football.
I've been hearing that a lot.
I can't believe I just said that.
Traditional
I can't.
haters,
Let me just say this. Let me just say this. Okay. When I was a senior in college, and I finally got to cover the Michigan football team. Bo Schembechler's final season, didn't know it at the time, but you work hard. You work the beat, of other sports for years at the Michigan Daily, the greatest student publication in the United States of America, if I may say so. At any rate, I'm sophomore year, junior year, I finally get into that press box. Sitting there on the 50-yard line, which is where, again, they put the University of Michigan, put the Michigan Daily reporters. I'm sitting there, first game, Notre Dame at Michigan. And I'm like, this is the greatest day of my life. I can't believe that I'm here, finally here, and let's go. Michigan can win it all this year. And then a guy named Rocket Ishmael comes out with his golden dome and runs one back for a touchdown. And apparently, on a kickoff, Bo Schembechler, as Laura says, went into the locker room and said, we're going to kick it off to that effing rocket, and you're going to put that effing rocket down on the ground. And you know what he did? He ran it back the other way for a touchdown. Two of them. Ruined the day, and then you start talking about this and that and the other thing. And I despise Notre Dame football. And Lou Holtz is one of my least favorite people to root for. Ever. Anywhere. Couldn't even watch him on TV. I'll say it again. I watch Rudy hoping he pops a quad at the end. Maybe it's a different story at the end. This business, it's, oh, God. It's like, no, actually, oh, God. Like, the deities created this program. That was always the sense of Notre Dame. Better than you. We're better than you because do you have God on your side?
Right.
That is always the implication. Always has been the implication. Leprechauns and all this stuff.
Jesus.
Oh, I had no idea. You want to talk about the 12th man? My goodness. And this guy has a totally different approach. I almost texted congratulations to Jerome Bettis last night, but still couldn't.
What? Come on. Do it right now. Do it right now. He's not that big of a man, though, is what he's saying.
Come on. Not yet.
Come on.
I'm growing.
Come on.
Have you not heard me over the last 2 minutes?
Yo, the fact that you even thought about it, that signifies growth, Rich.
Thank you. Stop it.
Tim Brown, Jerome, Brady Quinn. Come on, shoot him a tag.
No, there's many I've met who I like.
Come on.
Stop it.
Come on.
You.
Zach Martin.
No, people who never went to the school, but, just root for them.
Stop. Oh, wait a minute. Now I take umbrage with that.
Shots fired, Mike.
Okay.
Not all of us could get in
But Marcus Freeman, he's
couldn't sweep the floor.
What's not honestly, you look at that team and their performance and their heart and their grit and their smarts and their coach, and you go, I can't believe I'm saying this.
I know.
What's not to like?
I agreed.
I'm having a hard time with this.
I'm telling you,
What's not to like?
He's gonna get interviews over the weekend for NFL openings.
I don't think he's gonna do that because he can't.
There's 10 days till the title game.
I know that. And you can't do that right now. He won't do that right now. You have to ask permission to do it. It would be public everywhere. He's got 10 days to go. He just talked about putting Notre Dame football in front of everything else. And he got the job based on the fact that somebody bolted in between their final game. He coached the Fiesta Bowl that year. That was his first game as head coach of Notre Dame was a bowl game. It could have been a college football playoff game for all Brian Kelly really knew when he went off to LSU. Now, he can interview starting January 21st if that's what he really wants to do. But right now, I don't think so. But, man, congratulations to Notre Dame fans. You're playing for it all. And if it's them versus Ohio State, I really don't know what I'm going to do.
Oh,
But have you noticed what I've done over the last couple of weeks is I've started talking about a college football playoff game professionally and then ended unprofessionally.
It's a special gift you have.
I evolve and then completely devolve, but that makes me human. All right, we'll take a break here. The Dallas Cowboys apparently with Mike McCarthy are going to do... We'll be right back. No, I don't know about that. Tom Pelissero, who's breaking news on that front, is going to be joining us in the middle of hour 2, right after Harrison Smith joins us. But coming up next, we'll talk about the Dallas Cowboys and my conversation with Matthew Stafford. That's next. This is the Rich Eisen Show on a super wild card weekend Friday.
Welcome to Staples.
I am so pumped. My business is going to kill it this year.
Awesome. How can I help?
First, a new computer.
With Staples Home and Office Hot Deals, you save big on tech.
And new posters.
Save on custom printing, too.
And,
a new chair?
A chair? Who has time to sit?
Maybe all your new clients?
Now you're talking.
With Staples Home and Office Hot Deals, you'll find huge savings on custom prints, storage, chairs, and tech. And now save up to $175 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 2/1.
Paramount Plus is your streaming home for the NFL playoffs on CBS. It all kicks off with 2 wildcard games as the Chargers visit the Texans Saturday at 4:30 Eastern and the Bills host the Broncos Sunday at 1 Eastern. And it's all streaming live on Paramount Plus.
It's football season, and now you can get anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. Well, almost anything. You can't get a running back, but baby back ribs? Yes. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Happy Friday! It's Top 910 meteorologist Haley Fischetti. Here's a look at today's forecast. Scattered snow showers moving into the region throughout the day today, turning more widespread throughout the day, so something to be mindful of for your evening commute. We are looking at those winds from the west-southwest direction around 8 to 18 miles per hour, and your highs a bit warmer compared to the past couple days in the mid-20s to low 30s. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies around with those showers turning more into lake effect conditions.